Red.
Am I allowed to take out my wiener on this?
No, please don't.
Okay.
They don't allow that on YouTube.
Oh. Yeah. Well, it's not really MeTube then, is it?
Yeah, it really isn't, huh?
Yeah.
And that's how we're starting. Hello, everybody. They heard that? Well, welcome back, Bean Mafia, to another episode of Spoil the Beans with our very, very special guest, my new roommate, one of my best friends for the last, 8 years now? 7, 8 years?
Something like that. Yeah. Some people have died since I've met you. So that's what I measured on.
Our closeness is how many people that we know together have died in our lives?
Yeah. And then one of us will die, and then whoever lives will get closer with someone who they met before that or after. I don't know how it works exactly.
Then, I get that.
I'm not Gregorian.
That significant death will lead to the next friend. Like if one of us died, and then the other person, you would bond over it with somebody else who you were kind of friends with. And then now your friendship will be like, oh, well, that person, that death led to the better friendship.
Yeah, now that one of us is dead.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Who do you think will die first?
Yeah, send it in. Who do you think will die first? Please send those in.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. Please send that in. We'll put it up as a poll as well.
Dead serious.
It's important. It's definitely important information for one of us.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, bud. Thanks for coming on the podcast, man.
Maybe they can make it happen.
Hey,
if you want to murder one of us...
it's just $100.
You know,
$100.
Comment, say how you'll do it. Yeah.
$100. We're fair prices here, but anything to further the podcast. Jeffrey,
Deric,
you've been on this podcast before, right?
Yes.
So you do understand.
I've had my beans spoiled.
You've had your beans spoiled. What beans? Do you remember what beans got spoiled for you?
You spoiled my get rich or die trying beans.
I did, huh?
Yeah.
I spoiled your 50-cent beans.
Yeah,
50 cents of your beans.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have fun that time?
Yeah, it was a blast.
Fuck yeah. Well,
sword cane.
There was a sword cane. Go back and watch that episode. What number? Go fucking find it. I don't like. Sometimes I get mad at them when they're like I have to do more extra work. It's like, well, don't make me do extra work. Like I don't like it. Like if there's a new listener and they're coming in right now and they're like, oh, I came for whatever. Let's say whatever the movie is. They're like, why aren't they talking about it already?
Okay.
Because there's a format, and I get to it when I get to it. How I get to it. You know what I mean? So don't fucking question me. Just get on board. See, I'm already mad at him.
Jews.
And yeah. And he's fucking Jewish. So, when he says it, it's like when a black person says the N-word. Like, hurts more.
Yeah.
Or less.
Well, it means more.
Means more.
Yeah,
or less. Yeah. Because it definitely means more.
What do you think? Comment below.
Jeffrey?
Deric?
Can you do me a favor before we get started?
Sure.
Can you tell me what you think happens in the movie that you've never seen?
Okay.
That I'm about to explain to you right now, because that's the premise of the podcast. We're not just reviewing it. That's stupid. Why would you watch people review something? Just go watch it. Like you're doing now. I'm actually telling it to them. So this is technically watching it.
You stupid, slimy Hebes.
Yeah, watching this is supporting me. It bothers me sometimes. Jeffrey.
I don't know how much I'm allowed.
No, you can go as far as you want. Jeffrey Berner.
Well, what if I become Christian? Then in post, all the anti-Semitic stuff no longer counts. Sorry, what were you saying? Okay, yeah. Doing a podcast.
Right. No, that is true.
Yeah.
In post, things do change.
Yeah.
Like I remember one time me and Hassan kept saying all the dates we were going to have, and then this thing happened, and then we didn't have any of those dates. So yeah, things change in post.
Sure. What happened?
People got sick.
Oh, well.
They say.
Sure.
Have you met anyone who's been sick?
I don't know anybody.
I don't know anybody either. I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I mean, some of them have died, but I don't know them anymore, so.
That's fucking facts, Doug.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were coming on this pod to spit facts. We're not doing that today, Jeffrey. We're not spitting facts about death.
Okay, good.
This is a movie podcast.
Yes.
So, in that essence, can you tell me what you think happens in the film you've never seen that I am so fucking excited to tell you? One of my favorite movies in this universe. What happens in Thor Ragnarok?
Okay. I don't know what a Ragnarok is.
Beautiful.
Okay. Thor is a god. I've seen the first 2 Avengers movies.
That's what he's saying. So that's what, just so you guys know. And also, don't question me on why I started with this one. I start where the fuck I want to start, all right? He doesn't need to see him in order. It's a goddamn comic book.
Yeah, stupid Holocaust victims.
You're good. No, you're good.
I can't get more extreme from that one.
No, yeah, there's way worse things that happened than that. That wasn't even that bad. But yeah, what were you?
Okay.
What do you think happens in Thor Ragnarok? Your version.
I used to have a Thor hat in middle school.
So you like Thor?
I had a hat.
Oh, you had a hat?
Yeah. Okay. He's a god. He's a Viking god. So he's like God, but he pillages and rapes more.
Yeah, it is Marvel.
I haven't seen any of the other Marvel movies. I've seen the first 2 Avengers. Oh, and Iron Man. I saw Iron Man in theaters. Mm-hmm. I think that's it.
Oh my God, we got some fun ones.
So
I like that I'm starting here. I'm starting way far.
I'm gonna say he's
This is the fun part, Jeff. This is your movie. This is whatever you want Thor Ragnarok to be. It doesn't have to be right.
So The Rock is in it.
Awesome.
He's on his period.
Awesome. This is also my favorite part of the podcast.
Ragnarok means the rock on it's Viking for rock on his period, right?
Uh-huh.
And then Thor's heroically pillaging and raping.
Heroically?
Well, he's a god. He's a Viking hero.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
He's heroically
he wouldn't be raping for the bad reasons.
No, he's only doing it to the bad guys.
Oh, so you can root for him. Yeah. Okay.
And I'm gonna say real God shows up.
Your movie's fucking awesome.
And
what happens? What's the climax of your movie?
Real God gets crucified. Oh, rises again 3 days later.
Oh.
Yeah. And all are saved.
I like your movie.
Oh,
your Thor Ragnarok has a mix of Fast and the Furious and Passion of the Christ. Yeah, and I think those 2 movies should have been meshed together.
Fast and the Furious of the Christ.
Fast and the Furious of the Christ. Not a bad movie.
Tokyo Drift.
Oh, that's pretty cool too. I never saw that one.
Yeah, me either, actually. I know the song, though, with the ladies with the voices.
How's it go?
Oh, no, if you know, I live in Tokyo. I get it. Ching chong.
That's not how it gets. That's not how it goes. That's how some of our friends talk.
Yeah. Friends.
Friends. So it's not negative. Do you want to? Would you like to hear? Because you can say no, and we can just end the podcast. Would you like to hear Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah. I'll be. Entertain me.
No, I kid. I'll try.
Okay.
But before we do that, gotta pay some bills really quick.
Okay. Money.
Jeffrey.
Deric?
Do you have your phone on you?
No.
Okay,
it's in my room, which is over there.
That's true. But you don't have to move. Look what you guys are getting. This is awesome, isn't it? Nobody else. You and Sam are the only people who go barefoot on the pod.
Yeah, my feet are pretty dirty too.
Pretty
yeah. Gotta sweep.
We do need to sweep. Jeffrey, if you had your phone with you, what I'd want you to do is pull it out, go to Instagram.
Okay.
Hit the search bar. You've been on Instagram before, right?
Yeah. Search bar with the search bar on it.
There's a search bar on it.
Yeah, Instagram.
Type in DARENBATES. Darren Bates. That's Darren Bates, everybody. You follow him on Instagram. That's all he wants you to do. It's a pretty simple request. Literally, follow him. Just hit the follow button. At WestlandSon_56. Beautiful picture of a woman will pop up. You'll be like, this can't be him. That's him. That's his mom. All right? Westland Son. It's in the Instagram. It's in his tag name. He's kind of letting you know what it is.
Right.
All right? Go follow him. You just hit him a message, and all you got to do, Berner, is just say the Beans sent you there. And that's it. That's all he wants. And he pays the whole bills for this whole podcast. He pays all the bills just to do that.
Okay, yeah.
They should do it then.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of rude of them not to.
Yeah, what's worse than the Holocaust one?
Like a lot of things. Oh my God, you ever stub your toe?
You black plague starters.
I thought you were going to say black people starters.
That's a deep cut. Black people starters. Yeah, if it weren't for Jews, there wouldn't be black people.
No, don't, Jeffrey.
No, that's probably the opposite order, actually, of how it goes. But,
Yeah. So go follow Darren Bates. He's black. And you subscribe to his podcast. He has a podcast, Jeffrey. It's called The Raw Room. He interviewed. I've been on it a couple times. He's had literally a lot of great NFL players on it, and it's pretty cool, man. It's awesome that he's starting one and getting his second career going while his first career is still going, which is very hard to do, by the way, making it in the NFL that long. So go follow our boy Darren Bates, DarenBates at @WestlandSon_56. He's black. Go follow him. Tell him the Bean sent you. Jeffrey likes that. Jeffrey, you don't smoke weed anymore, do you?
No. Now I've no.
Yeah. Well, this ad is for you. Stellar Elixirs, guys. It's a young man named Deric. His name is Deric. He spells it completely incorrect, though. He spells it dumb, Derick. I'm not going to hold it against him, but if I ever see him, I'll stab him.
Sure.
Deric and his wife have a company called Stellar Elixirs, and all they want you to do is go try their natural, solventless, and easy-to-control dosage of marijuana elixirs.
Oh,
it's pretty cool stuff. I'll show some on the next episode. He was nice enough to send me some with some other green stuff. Thank you, buddy. But I can't wait to try it. I haven't got to try it yet, but I'm going to try it today. But it's chocolate and it's like sweet solvents, and you can control the dosage, which I like. You can like decide how high you want to get, and they come in these cool like bottle tubes, and yeah, it looks really cool. And the guy's weed company is A1, and it's at Stellar Elixirs, StellarElixirs at Stellar Elixirs on Instagram. Follow them and tell them what you guys know. Tell them the Beans sent you there. Go support. We support other beans in the bean world. That's what we do. So you go follow at Stellar Elixirs and at Darren Bates. And our last ad, one more ad, Jeffrey. I'm sorry.
okay. No, it's okay.
Also, what if this was Thor Ragnarok? It's like,
well, Disney's really pretty commercial, you know.
That is true. Jeffrey, you like T-shirts?
Yeah, I use them to not show my nipples all the time.
Fucking sweet.
Yeah.
I love that shirt. That's one of the people you were talking about earlier in the podcast.
Oh, yeah, dead. Woo!
Woo! Comedy Store. Yeah. Brotherhood, huh? Hidden Village Customs. Jeffrey, Hidden Village Customs, they make awesome T-shirts, vintage T-shirts, which I really like. And they're cool because he'll take like, he'll mix like something like a cool picture of Tom Brady and like some like cool anime scene.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like they're really cool because he'll just, I like that he meshes all these like weird different worlds on his T-shirts, and they're awesome. At Hidden Village Customs on Instagram. Again, at Hidden Village Customs on Instagram. Unbelievable quality. The dude loves pizza. He is not a pedophile. That's in the notes. I don't know what. No, it's not in the notes, but I'm assuming. They're all custom designs, and you can do them for businesses, for your business, for any fundraiser you need, any kind of event you would need. He can make your T-shirts for you. All customized. Customers so far have been satisfied with their designs. You can go check the reviews. Again, at Hidden Village Customs on Instagram. And he's collaborating with other, like a women's football team and this other soccer team, I think, outgoing with the community in North California and Southern California. So all up and down the California coast. So if you need a cool T-shirt, Hidden Village Customs is the place. Tell him Derek Poston and the Beans sent you. Let him know you're thankful he's not a pedophile. He really appreciates it, which was weird. He said that to me. He said, hey, thanks for letting everybody know I'm not a pedophile, wink, wink. And I was like, you're welcome. But I mean, I'm going to keep doing it, though, because he's paying for the sponsorship. And that's what life's really all about. Cash. Hidden Village Customs, everybody. So that's Stellar Elixirs, Hidden Village Customs, and Darren Bates. Go follow all three of them. Go show some support, and go let them know the Beans sent you. They are paying the motherfucking bills. Whew. That's done.
Okay.
You want to make out, or you want to just get into the movie? Your call. I'll let you call that.
Let's I haven't brushed my teeth. Let's do the movie, and then we'll see if that gets me,
And you'll brush your teeth?
A little hot and heavy.
And then we'll go. It is a Marvel movie.
Okay, I really must not have seen enough of the Marvel movies to understand what that means, but
yeah, you've only seen 2.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
You ready for this one?
Yeah. Spoil my beans.
Will do, buddy. This is no bullshit, because I'm a Marvel maniac,
Right.
and this is definitely, I'd have to put this in the top 5 of all the movies I made. This is the Thor movies suck. The first 2 Thor movies suck, and Thor as a character, I always thought I didn't like him. He was always my least favorite in the first, and even the Avengers you've seen, it was like, all right, I guess.
Yeah.
And they find fucking stride with his character in this movie so well. It got such great reviews because they just found stride with this movie and the director and the choices they made. Of like, oh, this is, now I love this character. Like Thor's not boring anymore. He has a personality. Movie starts. The Marvel music kicks in. Dun, 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 dun. And like they're showing like all the Marvel comic book characters as the word Marvel Studios comes up, like the classic thing. You see it start burning like fire. We see smoke. Okay. And then you see like this big, like almost like a cave, right? And we see a little cage. And the camera's zooming in. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Oh no, Thor's in a cage. What happened? Well, it's a long story. But basically, I was the hero being awesome, and I spent some time on Earth, fought some robots, saved the planet. Then I went searching for the stones. Found none, which led me to this cage where I met you. And the camera turns, and he's talking to like a fucking dead nigga. Right?
Yeah, that's fun.
Right?
Yeah, like our friends.
Like dude, connections, huh?
Yeah. And we're all bandanned up.
Oh man. Yo, I like you so much being on this. That's so funny. We're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Because we really are.
When will you die? Comment below.
Comment below. Let us know when you're gonna leave us. So right then he drops out the cage, like he's wrapped up in a chain like this. Okay. And he drops like that, and then bam, he like lands. So he's like, his body's like this, right? And he's on a chain. Okay. His body's hanging like that, right? And you ever seen Lord of the Rings?
Okay. Let's see. The first 2 as a kid.
That's all I knew was the first one. Okay. You haven't seen the third one though?
I don't think so. I played the video game.
I love the video game.
The video
game very slept on.
Yeah.
Did you like them?
Yeah.
I thought they were really good.
Yeah.
Well, in the first one, do you remember where Gandalf is like, Frodo's like, Gandalf! And he's like, follow your fools. And then he falls. And he fights the big red thing.
Yeah.
The big red thing looks just like him.
Okay.
So that's like the villain in it. Like he looks just like that nigga.
Okay.
Like exactly. Like.
Okay.
So you can see, you know what I mean? That big red on fire motherfucker. Like that. All right. And so he goes, Thor's like, Santa, son of a bitch, you're still alive. I thought my father killed you like 1,000,000 years ago. What's up, man? And he's like, I cannot die until my destiny is fulfilled and I lay waste to your homeland. And then Thor's like, oh yeah, I've actually been having this reoccurring dream where I see you in the middle and all of Asgard being destroyed. And he goes, so you have seen Ragnarok then. That's the title.
Okay, I see. Yeah. So it wasn't The Rock.
No, I know The Rock.
He's in everything.
He might be in this. I mean, actually, you know what? There are some surprises in this where you're going to be like, what the fuck? Okay. So, and so he's like, so you have seen Ragnarok then. Well, your planet. And then Thor's like, hold on. And he's like, the whole time, it's really funny. He was slowly spinning. So now his back is turned. And Thor's like, hold on, I'm coming back around. Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
And then he spins back around and he goes, okay, Ragnarok, walk me through this again. What's going on? And the guy's like, when my crown reunites with the eternal flame, I shall restore to my full might and my size and throw my sword into... Hold on. God damn it. I'm not even doing it. It's just me spinning. I swear to God, I'm not even trying to do this. Okay, I'm back.
That's a good bit.
He goes, Thor's like, so all you're telling me, the big guy goes, Thor goes, well, the eternal flame is on Asgard. So for you to get that, you'd have to go through Odin. Odin is there protecting it. And he's like, no, he's not Asgardian. Seems you've been gone too long. And then Thor's like, well, okay, wait a minute. So all you're telling me, all I have to do is rip that crown off your head and Ragnarok it'll be done. I won't have to deal with it. And he's like, Ragnarok's already begun, Thor. You cannot stop it. And he walks up on him. He goes, I'm Asgard's doom, and so are you. All will suffer. All will burn. And Thor's like, Wow, that's intense. Sounds like quite the spectacle, but I'm going to go with option B, where I bust out of these chains, rip that crown off your head, and stop Ragnarok myself. How? Because that's what heroes do. And he holds out his hand. Nothing happens.
Oh, no hammer.
No hammer.
The hammer is the main character.
The hammer is a very...
That's Thor's... Yeah, that's his biggest quality that I remember is he has a hammer.
Oh, yeah. Batman, billionaire. Thor, hammer.
Hammer's got a hammer.
Yeah, they all have their thing.
Look at nails.
Oh.
Yeah.
No one's ever done that joke. That's actually that'd be a good little silly joke to throw in there.
Send it into Disney. Yeah, we'll see if they can...
Disney watches this.
Oh, okay, perfect. Wow.
Yeah, they'll see this.
Wow.
So you probably shouldn't have said that Jew stuff. Actually, or should have. I don't know.
Yeah, I think definitely I won the Disney family support.
Yeah. So he goes, he's like, well, that's what heroes do. And nothing happens, right? And he goes, wait, hold on, wait. I didn't time that right. And now, and the hammer comes, boom, the Led Zeppelin song, Immigrant song kicks in, and he goes, you have made a great mistake, Odin's son. And Thor busts out the chains. He's like, I make great mistakes all the time. I'm the ice and snow, the strings blow, hammer of the gods. You've heard this song? Riding into new land. And it shows this nigga while that song's playing.
Yeah.
He's fucking niggas up. Like this whole army of little animal things start coming to attack him.
Cool.
He starts fucking these niggas up, bro. So he's fucking them up.
Yeah.
And then he throws the hammer. This shit's so cool. The shot is now from the camera is from the perspective of the hammer.
Cool.
So you see it going through all these things, but as you see it, you see Thor in the middle, in the background, out of focus, kicking everyone's ass still.
It's dope. Yeah.
Such a dope shot,
yeah.
right? And the hammer goes all the way back around. Boom, he catches that shit. The big dude spits fire at him, like the big red guy.
Yeah.
He's spitting fire at him, and Thor takes it, and then he starts fucking this nigga up. While the song's still playing, just boom, boom, couple hammer shots, boom, and then he jumps up, bam, knocks this nigga crown off his head. He dies. All right? He ties it up, and then he looks around, and he sees an army coming, the whole rest of the army coming at him. And he has the chain tied, with the crown tied up to his back. And he's like, Humdale, I need a fast exit. And he holds the hammer up. Humdale! Nothing. So you cut back to we're back on Asgard.
Okay.
All right? And you hear on a radio system, Thor going, Humdale, what's going on? And you hear this other dude go, Humdale was an idiot. And then we see this other character, right? You've seen The Boys.
Yes.
The lead in The Boys. The fucking lead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just needed
god.
that accent. Okay.
Yeah, it's
sure.
him.
Yeah.
All right? And he's like an Asgardian and shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, Humdale was an idiot. This job, it ain't easy, but it has its benefits. See me? I have access to all 9 realms. Behold! And he points back, all my stuff. And it's just random shit from all these planets, right?
Okay.
And he grabs these 2 things. He goes, this I got off a little place in Midgard called Texas. And he holds up 2 AK-47s.
Okay, that's fun.
I call this Dez and this Troy. Put them together. This movie is so silly for a Marvel movie already.
Yeah, a lot of bits.
And so, you see Thor, back to Thor, he busts out the motherfucking cave. Okay? And he's like, Humdale, come on. Nothing, right? You see this huge dragon, this motherfucking dragon thing comes out as well and starts with his mouth open chasing him. This nigga Thor, bro, takes his hammer, boom, drops it in its mouth. So the dragon just goes like that.
Oh, like a bit?
Yeah. And he's like, sit right there. Humdale, God damn it, do you hear me? And then you see Scourge come back to this nigga's got a shake weight. And he's like, and the girls, he's with these 2 girls, he's trying to impress them. Okay. And they're like, should you get that? He's been screaming for a while. I'm down. He's like, oh, you ladies want to see something? So he grabs this big sword, boom, he puts it in the Bifrost, and he turns it, right? This big key, and it kind of opens up like a portal. Okay. And so you see Thor, he sees kind of the portal opening up, so he grabs his hammer out the thing and he starts flying towards it. The dragon is on his ass, is trying to eat him. It gets super close. Right then, beam of light, Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
So you see Thor. What's up? If you have any questions, of course, stop because I know
No,
you have.
I mean, there's a lot of action so far, but no questions at the moment. Yeah. So the first guy, not a problem.
Easily took care of that.
Yeah,
villain.
yeah, okay.
Hands down. Not all the bragging he was doing did not happen.
Okay.
So Thor comes through and the monster's head. That was up.
It didn't happen yet. We're only at the title.
Ooh,
yeah.
Jeffrey Berner, you're too smart a cookie to go through this sometimes. You'll catch on to stuff that I think other people wouldn't before they do.
Well, I mean, they still have to have a movie. That's all I know.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, otherwise it's going to be about like his relationship troubles or something.
They tried to do that before. It was really bad. It was the first Thor.
Oh, okay.
That's why they were like, "Oh, we got to go a different direction." The relationship stuff does not. Well, we'll get there. So, Thor, he comes through the portal, right? With the monster's head also comes through, chopped off. So like all of its blood comes like and sprays Scourge in the whole room and like all the ladies, right? And they're like, "Oh!" And then the girls run off, and Scourge is like, well, look who popped in. Thanks for scaring off my company. And then Thor's like, who are you? I'm Scourge. That's his name. I'm Scourge. You don't remember me? We fought together. The Battle of Humke. Come on, Scourge. And then Thor's like, where's Heimdall? Oh, that traitor? No one knows where he is. Odin called him out for his bullshit, and then he took off. And Thor's like, flies away. He just flies away like while he's still talking. And Scourge is like, I'm supposed to announce your arrival. God damn it. So he has to run. You see him start like jogging across this huge bridge. Like it would take forever. The bridge is so long, right? So you see Thor, he flies home and he gets to the front of the palace and there's a huge statue of Loki. You know who Loki is?
Yeah. I remember him from, Yeah.
And he's like,
he's got a bit of an attitude.
Loki has a bit of an attitude problem. So he's like, what the hell is that? So he walks into like the palace.
Okay.
And everyone, the whole town is there, the whole city, and everyone's watching a play. And you see Odin like laying on like, Odin is, by the way, Anthony Hopkins. That's who plays Odin.
Cool.
And he's laying on like a bed eating grapes like this, like watching it. Mm-hmm. And the play is of the second movie of Thor, Thor: The Dark World.
Okay.
So it's like it's kind of, and you see a dude playing Thor, like an actor, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, brother. And then they pan the camera down to Loki. It's Matt Damon.
That's fun.
That's dude, I remember the theater was like, it was such a because what a cameo, you know? And then Matt Damon's like, it's me, Loki. I'm dying. I'm sorry. I tried to rule Earth that one time. And then Thor's like, it's okay, brother. I know I'm such a trickster. I'm always doing tricky stuff. And he's like, I know. He's like, I'm sorry about turning you into a frog once. Oh, it's okay. It was funny. It was a funny joke. He goes, and then Thor's like, you're the true savior of Asgard. And then Matt Damon's like, build me a statue, won't you? And he goes, Thor's like, I will tell father of you one day. And then you cut to Odin, like you see Odin, right, watching, and he goes, I didn't do it for him. And then you hear Matt Damon, I didn't do it for him. And then Thor's like, no! Yeah. And then somebody like narrates, like, as Thor watches his brother die, the great Loki, like, and like narrates it and shit. And then everyone, like, they get up and bow and everyone cheers, right? Yeah. And it's also Matt Damon. Again, he has like 3 lines in this. I love when I hear
Matt Damon loves bits, though.
He does love bits. Yeah. That is a fucking great point. So you see right then, like, everybody's clapping. And then Thor goes, Father. And then Odin turns around. And he's like, oh, shit. My son Thor has returned, everybody. Greetings, my boy. And then Thor's like, what a play, Father. And he's like, I like the statue, too. Interesting. Better looking than the real Loki. A little less greasy, wouldn't you say? He's like, hey, yeah, definitely. And then he's like, here, found the scepter of Surtur. Had to kill him and knock it off his head. Why don't you lock this in a vault so it doesn't turn into a monster and destroy the whole planet? And then the guy's like takes it to a vault, right? Mm-hmm. So Thor, as he's looking at Odin, he's just kind of staring back and forth, and Odin looks all nervous. He starts tossing his hammer like this. He's just looking at him. He goes, I have this dream where Asgard keeps falling into ruin with the 9. I had a dream where Asgard keeps falling into ruins. So I went on a search for the Infinity Stones and went to the other 9 realms. And what do I find? Everyone plotting against us, no one taking us serious anymore. while Odin sits here and eats his grapes. And then Odin's like, well, I just think maybe we should respect our neighbor's privacy. You know, it's a new era, a new time. He's like, you're really going to make me do it? And then Odin's like, do what? And then Thor just takes his hammer and goes, boom, throws that shit as far as he can. And then he grabs Odin by the back of the head and holds him like this, right? And he goes, you know, and he whispers in his ear, nothing will stop Mjolnir from returning to my hand. You know that, don't you? You'll be executed for this. You know you'll be executed. You start seeing the hammer coming back, and he's like, well, I'll see you on the other side then, brother. All right, I yield. Fling! He turns back into Loki, and like he moves him out the way and catches the hammer.
Okay. All right. This explains it.
That all kind of sums up the play and casting Matt Damon and the statue.
Yeah.
Loki has an end.
Okay. Do we see Anthony Hopkins again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
I'll let you get that. I love that you're getting into it. I like this movie. I thought that, dude. All right, we'll see. I'll wait. I won't get too excited yet.
You don't get to see Anthony Hopkins playing the. I gave up swearing for Lent.
He did.
The B word role. You know what I mean? He normally doesn't act afraid.
Yeah, no, he never would. Yeah, they went a movie where you see him playing all nervous. Yeah. But it was cool to see him because it is Anthony Hopkins, obviously. You know, so it's like, oh wow.
Yeah.
He's like being all like weird Loki, you know?
Right.
So
he's low key.
Oh, that was legit fire. Not even kidding. That's a bar.
Oh man.
So he goes, right then Scourge comes in. He goes like Scourge shows up when Loki turns back and he's like, Thor is back. And then Loki's like, you had one job. One fucking job, Scourge. He's like, and so he goes, well, where's father? Thor's like, where's father? Did you kill him? And he grabs him. He's like, no, I didn't. Show me where he is. He's like, all right, okay, I know where he is. So cut to, they go to the Bifrost. They open it up. They go back to Earth. They're in New York. They're at Shady Acres Nursing Home, and it's being demolished. And Loki's like, I swear to God, I left him right here. Dude, the bits are so fire, dude. I'm telling you.
That's good.
And then Thor's like, you idiot, right? And he's like, oh, you fucking, I can't believe you. And he's like, he's like, you're a witch. Shouldn't you be able to see in the future? And he's like, well, I can't do that. He's like, God, I can't believe you're alive. You know I mourned you. I fucking cried for you. And Loki's like, I'm honored that you did that. And then right then some kids come up and they're like, oh my God, Thor, which I like this in this world, that they break the world like that. Like some kids are like, oh my God, Thor, an Avenger, can we get a selfie? He's like, oh, of course, right? And you see him and he's like,
yeah,
right? He's like that. And then he looks at Loki. He's like, Loki, we gotta find father. All right, you know, we gotta look for him. We'll do. And then all of a sudden, you see under Loki a circle start forming, like a little portal circle.
Okay.
Right. And then Thor's like, what are you doing? What is this? And Loki's like, I'm not doing this. Boom! He falls. And Thor's like, Loki. And he looks down, and all that's left on the ground is a card, and it says 177A Bleecker Street. Now, do you know what's going on?
No.
Now, in the theater, because I'm telling you these movies out of order, the crowd lost its mind because everybody knew what was going on. So Thor, he gets to 177A Bleecker Street, and he knocks on the door, doom, doom, and poof, he's inside. He's like, what the fuck? And then you hear, Thor Odinson. And then a man floats out the dark in a cape. It's Doctor Strange.
Okay. I don't know him.
You don't? Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor
I do know
Strange.
It's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Okay,
yeah.
He's
I've
very
seen
good
him
actor.
I saw some of Sherlock. That's pretty good.
He's pretty good. And then you said you liked the Star Trek Into Darkness where he's the villain.
Yeah.
The second one. He's the bad guy in that one.
Okay.
He's very good in that also.
Okay, so I've got some Cumberbatches to draw from.
Yeah. So you seen his outfit of what he looks like again? Here. Just so you can, I'll give you a picture just so you can see a bit. Cloak.
He doesn't look like a doctor, really.
No, he was a doctor. I can't wait to tell you Doctor Strange. That's also a really fucking good one too. But like that.
Okay.
That's just his outfit, just so you can
sure.
Kind of see
All right.
All right. So Thor also has regular clothes on. He's not in Thor. He's got like just a jacket and jeans on.
Okay.
Okay. And he's holding an umbrella. And then he goes, Thor Odinson. And he floats up and he goes, I'm Doctor Strange. So you're the god of thunder. And then Thor holds up his umbrella like this, like in fighting pose. And he's like, you can put the umbrella down. And then he gives him like a little umbrella case. And he goes, poof. And they go to another room. And then they're like, Thor's like, what the fuck? And then Thor looks around. And he's like, so Earth has wizards now. Because he doesn't know this shit.
Right.
Like, it's because he's been gone. The timeline, I jumped way ahead, but like they worked their way up to this.
Okay.
So he knocks over a bunch of shit, and then Doctor Strange is like, the preferred term is Master of the Mystic Arts. My name is Dr. Stephen Strange, and I have questions for you. Why don't you take a seat? And then Thor looks around, poof, he's in a seat in another room. And he's like, what the And he's like, tea? And then Thor's like, he's got tea in his hand. He's like, I don't drink tea. And then he looks back down, and he's got like the biggest beer in your hand, like huge, like this, right? Okay. He's like, what the fuck? And then Doctor Strange is like, I keep a watch list of beings who are a threat to this world. And your brother is pretty high on that list. And then Thor's like, worthy inclusion. And he drinks a bunch of it. And then he goes, well, why would you bring him here if he is? And he refills up his beer immediately. Like he drinks, and then it just goes right back to full. And Thor's like, fuck yeah, bro. Sure. And then he goes, well, we're looking for my father. And then Doctor Strange is like, well, if you find him, would you leave? Thor's like, promptly. Well, I'll take you to him. Poof, they go to another room. And he's like, well, if you know where he is, poof, they go to another. Why wouldn't you tell me? If you knew where he was, why would you just tell me where he was this whole time? Like, you could have called me or something like that. And he goes, what are you talking about, Thor? You don't have a phone. Well, you could have sent an electronic email. He goes, do you have a computer? No, what for? And Doctor Strange is like, look, I'll tell you where your father is. He's like, tell me where he is. And he's like, he's in Norway. And then he poofs him to another room, And he's like, stop doing that. And he's like, I need one strand of your hair. You will never touch one strand of Thor Odinson's hair. And then he rips out a piece of his hair because he's like, he can poof everywhere, you know? And he's like, ah. And then he does some cool, like, shit. And then he throws it, and it becomes a portal.
Okay.
Right? And then he's like, your father's waiting for you. And then Thor's like, whoa. And then Doctor Strange goes, don't forget your umbrella. And Thor's like, oh, yes. And he holds out his hand, and then you just hear everything breaking. And he's like, sorry. The umbrella comes back. And he goes, oh, and I suppose I'll need my brother back too. And then Doctor Strange is like, oh, right. And then Loki goes, ah! And he falls and hits the ground. And he goes, I've been falling for 30 minutes. Bro, also the panic on his face of like, yo, what the fuck?
It's good. Yeah, it's fun.
And then Loki gets up and he tries to fight him. And then Doctor Strange is like, okay, bye, boys. And he throws the portal, and it goes through them. And like now they're into the portal. Like instead of it just sitting one place, he like brings it to them. So they just go through it. Okay. You know? And so now they're like in the middle of this beautiful scenery, right? And they see their father, Anthony Hopkins, and he's staring at the ocean. And they walk up and they're like, Father. And Anthony Hopkins is like, it's beautiful, isn't it? Father, it's us. My sons. I've been waiting for you. We've come to take you home, Dad. Home. No. Your mother calls me. Do you hear it? And then Thor's like, Loki, lift your magic. What is this? And Loki's like, I'm not. And then Odinson goes, no, it's not your brother. Took me a little while to break that spell of yours. Your mother would be very proud. And then Loki's like, so they sit, and Odinson's like, I failed you. It's upon us, you know, Ragnarok. And then Thor's like, no, I stopped it, Dad. He's like, no, it's already begun. She's coming. What? It's like, my life is all that held her back. But my time has come. I can't keep her away any longer. Who, Father? The goddess of death, Hela, my firstborn, your sister. What? I love you. He goes, her violent appetite grew beyond control, so I imprisoned her. She draws her strength from Asgard. Once she gets there, her power is limitless. And then he's like, but Father, you're here. We can stop her together. I'm on a different path now, son. He looks at them both. I love you. I love you, my sons. Look at that. He points out just beautiful, like ocean, right?
Okay.
He's like, remember this place. Home. And he fades.
Okay. Very Anthony Hopkins.
Very Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Very, like the most Anthony Hopkins thing you can do is fade into dust after saying I love you.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's the most Anthony Hopkins thing ever.
Even Hannibal Lecter, there's elements of that.
Oh, yeah. At the end, where he's on the last phone call.
Yeah.
And he kind of fades into following her. You know what I mean? It's the same vibe.
Yeah, I think it's been a while since I saw World's Fastest Indian, but I think he just breaks apart. He breaks apart into dust on the motorcycle or something. You should watch that; it's really good.
I mean, he's great, man.
Yeah. World's Fastest Indian is pretty cool.
I've never heard of that one.
It's like a speed. He's going fast. It's the same as Speed.
Okay, I like that movie too.
It's about a motorcycle that he makes really fast. I mean, does some. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
That would be stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, it gets dark, and this is from Thor Ragnarok,
Right.
and you hear thunder, right?
Sure.
And Loki looks over and he's all nervous because Thor is like, he's pissed, and he's like, brother. And then Thor is like, lightning starts coming around his fist, and he's like, this was your doing, Loki. And they stare at each other, and then they both look up, and you see this black portal kind of form in the sky, right?
Okay.
And they're like, oh shit, and they start walking toward it, and then Thor takes his umbrella, boom, hits the ground, and like their fucking costumes like are on.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And you see something coming out of the portal, bro, and it's a fucking like black legs. And it's this dope ass outfit, like skin tight outfit, and then it comes up and it's Cate Blanchett, the actress.
I'm sorry.
You don't know Cate Blanchett? Let me show you your face.
I have a lot of giant blank spots.
Have you ever seen Benjamin Button?
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. It was really long.
It's really long. It's one of my favorite movies. I'm a weirdo. It's one of my favorite movies.
Oh,
She's the girl he cheats on with in the hotel in the beginning. Remember that woman? This woman.
I only saw it the one time in theaters, and I really.
You never seen this woman and stuff? She's in like so much stuff.
I think so. I must have.
Yeah, she's pretty great.
For sure, I've seen her and stuff.
Oh yeah, she's in the Lord of the Rings too. I forgot about that.
Okay.
Yeah, she's good. So she's the villain in this. Just so
okay.
I'll show you what she looks like as a. Just so you can see.
Okay. Suggestion was Cate Blanchett, height 5'9", pretty tall.
Oh, she is pretty tall. This is what Hela looks like.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's very different.
Yeah, but I like her I like her outfit though and her hair.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Or is that a hat or is that a crown?
I'll tell you what it is. So you see how she has regular hair, right?
Yeah.
So she comes out. She has the regular hair. And she's like, she looks at him. She looks at both Loki and Thor, and she goes, so he's gone. And she smiles, and she's like, that's a shame. I'd have liked to have seen that. And then Thor's like, I'm Thor, son of Odin. And she's like, really? You don't look like him. And then Loki's like, look, before this gets any crazy, maybe we can come to some kind of arrangement. Well, you sound like him. And she's like, kneel. And they both kind of look at her. And then she goes, shing, and like a sword comes out of her fucking hand. And she's like, kneel before your queen. And then Thor's like, I don't think so. Boom, throws his hammer. She fucking bonk, catches that bitch.
Okay, that's not supposed to happen.
That's not supposed to happen. And that's also the yo, I'm not kidding. I wish I could zoom in. That was the exact face Thor made. Was like they didn't tell him in the script that she was gonna do it. Because he's like, oh shit.
Right.
And then she grabs it. He goes, that's not possible. Darling. You have no idea what's possible. She fucking crushes that shit with her bare hand, bro. That definitely changes the pace of this movie.
That's like I said, that's most of what I know about his character.
I know, and we're also only 15 minutes in. This is a 2-hour movie.
Wow. Okay.
It's like, wait a minute.
Does he get a nail gun or something?
He changes to a big, powerful nail. So she crushes that shit. And then, remember I said she has regular hair?
Yeah.
So what she'll do, she'll rub her hair like this, and then that shit comes up into like the spikes.
Oh, okay.
Just like the knives come out of her hand. Like her power is she can like create anything pretty like, but like it's pretty cool the way it looks.
Okay.
It's like all weaponry, you know? So right then Loki looks up and he's like, somebody bring us back. And then Thor's like, no. And then the Bifrost comes in and they all start going up. You know what I mean?
Okay. And
then she runs up to Loki and bam, like as they're going up, she hits this nigga out of the like what would be them traveling up to the thing.
Right.
So he goes flying out. She comes up to Thor and she goes to stab him and Thor grabs her and like kicks himself out of the portal as well. So she just goes up by herself.
Okay.
All right. And both of them go flying through space. Okay.
All right.
So you see Hela walk through the gate and these other soldiers are there. And you see Scourge in the background mopping all the floors. And then the soldier's like, who are you? Where's Thor? And she, boom, throws knives and kills all these niggas immediately. Just easy. Super easy.
Okay.
And then she goes, I'm Hela. And then Thor looks around. He's like, I'm just a janitor. And he gets on his knees. And she's like, you look like a smart boy with good survival instincts. How would you like a job? And Scourge is like, okay. And then she looks over Asgard, just this evil stare, and she smiles, and then she starts walking towards it.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Cut to the camera pans through space. You hear some dope ass like 80s music playing.
Okay.
And you see Thor just flying. And then we see these like a planet, right? And we see these like in the planet, whatever this planet is, they have portals all on the sky.
Okay.
And it's just trash shooting down.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
And Thor comes, boom, comes flying and he lands. So he looks around and it's trash all over this planet. And he looks like into the distance and you see like a city. You know what I mean? With like huge buildings everywhere. And so a ship, you hear like a ship alarm start going off. Like this clearly isn't Earth. This is like some alien planet. And you're like, woo, 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 woo. And it flies towards them. And then all these Ravager looking motherfuckers kind of come out. Right?
Okay.
And they're like, are you a fighter? Or are you food? And then Thor's like, I'm just passing through. It is food then. And they all start coming after him. And this nigga like boom, goes for his hammer. And then he's like, oh, fuck. Bam! And he hits this nigga like across the planet, right? And then one of them throws like a net on him. And it's like a fucking electric net. Like when it goes around him, it like like that, and he falls. So they all run up and they start kicking him and beating the shit out of him. And then out of nowhere, boom, another ship lands. And the runway comes down. And out walks Tessa Thompson. You know who Tessa Thompson is? She's the hot it actor now. She's in a lot of cool shit. Did you ever watch Westworld?
Yeah, I watched some of it.
She was in Westworld. You might recognize because she's a new actress, but she's like in everything now.
Okay.
She's in Creed, in the Creed movies.
I didn't.
Yeah. You recognize her? Oh, she's very pretty.
She is. But no.
This is her, just so you see what she looks like in the movie.
All right, for
That's
sure.
her outfit. All right. So she comes out, right? And you see she has a huge beer in her hand, and she chugs the whole thing. She throws it. He's mine. And she starts walking towards him down the ramp. And like hero music's playing, and this bitch just boom falls, like bam, head first, and she's just out. Like that, right? And everybody's like even the Ravagers are like, oh damn, that's like that's a problem, you know? And then she gets up, she's like, wait, and then it takes her like a little bit of time. She does a good job of this. It takes her like a minute to like get up, and she's like, he's mine. And then they're like, she goes, he's mine. And then they go, if you want, and she goes, if you want him, you're gonna have to go through me. And then they look around, they're like, but we already got him. And she's like, oh. Well, I guess I got to go through you. And then they're like, more food. And they start going towards her. And she looks at her wrist and she clicks them. And then like some like Tony Stark, like kind of like cool gear thing pops up. And when she does like this, you see her arms are now controlling the arms of her ship. Like, you know what I mean?
Cool.
And then she just kills all of them like easy as fuck.
Awesome, yeah.
Right? And then one of them starts running at her and she grabs him and throws this nigga a mile too. So you see like, oh, she's strong as fuck too. And then Thor gets up and he's like, whoa, thank you. And then she takes this little disc and she goes, zing, and it lands on his neck. And he's like, what the fuck? And she goes, and he's like, bam, and he passes out.
Okay.
And so she's dragging him. And this nigga, he wakes up, right? And he's like in the cargo hold of her ship. But she can see through it. It's like see-through.
Okay.
And he looks up at her and he's like, where are you taking me? She doesn't say anything. Answer me. I'm Thor, son of Odin. I need to get back to Asgard. And she's like, apologies, your majesty. And this nigga passes out again. Okay? So they pull up, bro, to this huge tower, and then they go inside, right? This big-ass tower. They go inside. Cut back to, we see Hela standing in front of Asgard, right? The palace.
Yeah.
And she's looking out, and she goes, and she's like annoyed. She's like, it comes to my attention that some of you don't know who I am. And then the camera turns around and she's looking at the entire army of Asgard. Like just like thousands and thousands of people, ships everywhere, you know what I mean? And it's just her by herself and Scourge. All right? And and she goes, I'm Hela, Odin's firstborn, rightful heir to the throne and the goddess of death. Right? And then the soldiers all go like get on guard, like that. Just so you know, Asgard, we used to be unchallenged. But Odin stopped at 9 realms. I will not. We will rule over all others. All will kneel before me. So kneel. And then an Asian guard, like the leader of the Asgardian army is Asian, which makes no sense to me because everyone else there is white. Everyone else, other than one other person, is one Asian dude and one black dude in all of Asgard. But they both have very high, powerful ranking positions. And the Asian guard's like, we won't surrender to you. I swear to God, Jeffrey, I know you're like, oh, Deric, he didn't say that like that. We don't surrender to you, your kind. And then she's like, how did you get that accent? And everybody else here is either Australian or British. Like, how are you talking like that?
So it gets commented on.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It would have been how funny if she'd have been like, wait, why do you sound like that? It would have been so funny. And then he goes,
some sort of affirmative action kind of.
Yeah. It's weird. And then he goes,
taking all the good Asgardian guard jobs.
They only have a couple lines. He goes, well, whoever you are surrender now. And she goes, whoever I am. Did you listen to what I said? This is your last warning. I thought you'd all be happy to see me, but fine. She does her like Medusa hair shit, and then she fucks this captain up, bro. And then she starts throwing knives at the whole army, just boom, boom, and like 5 or 6 are coming out of her hand at once, and they're huge, and they're just boom, like taking out. And then she starts throwing them at the ships, and then she's like doing backflips. This bitch has like that power, right? She can shoot all the shit out.
Yeah.
She has the fighting ability of Thor and like the strength of like the Hulk. Like it's insane. The way she's kicking all these niggas' ass.
Right.
And then, what? And she like takes one guy's head during the fight and just crushes it. Whole skull.
Cool.
It's
cool.
sick.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And so she kicks everybody's ass. The fight ends. You see Scourge walking through the remains, and he looks like not happy. He's like, oh, fuck, this is dark. Like, I know a lot of these guys.
Right.
Like, I was in military boot camp with him. I was in boot camp with him.
Right.
This guy was cool. I didn't know him well, but he was cool. I think his name was Rick.
She's the goddess of death. I mean, sounds kind of, yeah.
I know. Also, Odin, it's like, you shouldn't have named her that. You should have named her, goddess of death when called upon.
I mean, you can't control, you got to let your kids just go the way they're going to go, I think. You got to.
You know what?
Yeah.
I can't argue that. That is true. So Hela looks around and she's like, oh, what a shame. And the captain, you see the captain like walk up and he's still kind of breathing alive. And she's like, look. And he goes, you evil demoness. And then this nigga, she throws like she does like this, and like out of the ground, a fucking knife thing comes and like goes right through his whole chest.
Yeah.
And Scourge is like, fuck. And then she's like, come on, Scourge, let's go see my palace.
Man. She sounds evil.
She's not nice. Yeah. She's not nice. Good villain, though.
Hella evil.
Ooh, bars.
Bay Area slang.
That was good, dude.
Yeah, little hyphy reference.
Little hyphy, little wifey. So, cut to, they show the Bifrost room where the sword is, like how they get from Earth, like to other planets from Asgard. Yeah. And someone steals the sword, which is the key. That's how you work that thing. Mm-hmm. Someone steals it and it's gone. Like, you don't see who, you just see a person steal it and take off.
Okay.
All right. Cut back to, we see Thor. He comes to, right? And he's in a seat like this. Like, he's strapped into his chair. And he's like going through like what would be like It's a Small World kind of ride.
Okay.
He's looking around and you hear a kid's voice go, fear not. Fear not, for you are found. And then you hear in the background, bro, you hear the Willy Wonka, come with me and you'll see, as he's going through this ride. And he's like, what the fuck? Right. And he's like, you are now on Sakaar, the place, what is it? You are now on Sakaar, which is the edge of the known and unknown, a place for lost and unloved things like you. Here you are loved, and no one loves you more than the Grand Master. And you see like this, like he's like seeing like the images of what this thing's saying. He's like, what the fuck? The Grand Master is the original, the father of the contest of champions. And once you are nothing, now you are something. something because you are the property of the Grand Master. And Thor's getting more nervous and more scared. You will meet the Grand Master in 5 seconds. And the ride starts going faster. And he's like this, 4, 3, 2, prepare yourself. You are now meeting the Grand Master. And Thor's like, ah! And then the ride just stops and he's in a room. And the Grand Master is Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
Isn't that awesome? And it's just Jeff Goldblum. And he's like, hi. He's like not doing any acting.
He's just Jeff Goldblum, Jeff Goldbluming. Yeah.
Here, I'll show you just so you can see what because he does look funny in this.
Does he still have the glasses?
He does. He's not glasses in this one. That is, he does not have glasses in this. He looks like this. He looks so funny in it. Dude, he steals this fucking
that blue
movie.
stripe is very ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. So he looks at him, and then Jeff Goldblum's like, wow, he's wonderful. And then he goes, God, I love when 142 brings me stuff. Scrapper 142, which is the Tessa Thompson girl.
Right.
He's like, God, you bring me the best stuff. He's like, you just bring me the best. You know, what do I always say? And he looks at his number 2, right? Which is like this big, bulky looking woman. He goes, what do I always say about Scrapper 142? And it starts with a B. What do I always say? And then the girl goes, trash. And he's like, no, that doesn't start with a B. Did you just want to call her trash? Why would you say no? It's the best. I always say you're the best. Scrapper 142. And then he goes, take me closer. I want to look at it. And then Thor's like, you will pay for this, lady. Right? Because I am not for sale. And he breaks his cuff. And then she hits the button. And he does that again. And then she's like, I'll take 10 million. And then Goldblum's like, transfer her the units. Like, thank you. And then Thor's like, you'll pay for this. And then she walks off. She's like, no, I got paid for this. And she walks off, right? And then he goes, so who are you? And Thor's like, I'm the God of Thunder! And his arms come free. And he has like little, like the electricity coming on his things. And then Jeff Goldblum's like, ooh, whoa, are those sparkles? Little sparkles are coming out of his hands, guys. So he goes, well, my name's the Grand Master. And he goes, where are my manners? My name's the Grand Master. And then you see this nigga like he's DJing. And you see him like this, kind of like feeling himself. Yeah. And he goes, and I do this thing called I'm the Grand Master here, and I do this thing called the Contest of Champions. You could be my new champion. What do you think of that? I'm not champion of anything. I'm going back to Asgard. And he just keeps ignoring him, like DJing and shit.
Right. Is this a Grandmaster Flash reference?
I think so.
Okay, awesome.
I think so, because the director's really awesome. This guy named Taika Waititi. He's really good. You ever seen Jojo Rabbit or heard of that?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Really great. He directed that too.
Okay.
This guy, he's great.
Really fun name there. Yeah.
Taika Waititi?
Yeah.
He's good. No, it's Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
Mm-hmm. If you've seen it spelled, you would be like, holy shit, Deric wasn't kidding. It's Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi. Huh. Okay.
So Thor, he's sitting there, right?
Non-fictional.
It is. Non-fictional. Thor looks over and he goes, Loki? And you see Loki like chilling with everybody. Loki, come here. Loki's like, shh. And Loki comes over. He's like, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm stuck in this stupid chair. Why aren't you in a chair? He's like, I didn't get a chair. How come you got a chair? I got a chair. He's like, they didn't give me one. He's like, well, get me out of here. He's like, I can't. What do you mean you can't? I can't. He's like, I just got here and I'm getting cool with the Grand Master. Like, we're starting to become friends. He's like, what? How long have you been here? He's like, I got here weeks ago. What the fuck? I got here like a couple hours ago. He's like, yeah, man, the time works here really weird here. And then Grand Master's like, yeah. Goldblum's like, yeah. He goes, time was crazy on this planet. Anywhere else, I'd be like 1,000,000 years. But here on Sakaar, he doesn't say anything. He just goes back to, he doesn't say anything. You see Thor and Loki like, because they were waiting. And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? So he goes, the Grandmaster goes, you know him? To Thor, like pointing at Loki. And then Loki's like, I've never met him in my entire life. And then Thor's like, he's my brother. And then Loki's like, we're adopted. And he goes, he laughs. He goes, well, can he fight? And then Thor's like, let me out of these chains and I'll show you I can fight. He goes, threatening me, the Grand Master. That's cute. Hey, Sparkles, you defeat my champion, I'll give you your freedom. How about that? Fine. Point me in the direction of whoever's ass I have to kick. All right. Now that's a contender. Cut to. They drop him off in like a room, right? Mm-hmm. And they close the door and Thor hits the door like, ah! And then you hear this, my favorite character in all the Marvel universe, bro. It's also played by the director. The guy who's playing this next person. So he hits the door. He's like, ah. And you hear a guy behind him go, hey, 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 take it easy there, man. And he turns around and he goes, hi, that's me talking, the pile of rocks. And you see like a rock. It's like all rocks. Okay. This guy, right? He goes, yeah, I'm actually a thing. I'm a being. I'm not just rocks. Name's Korg, kind of the leader around here. I'm made of rocks, as you can see, but nothing to be afraid of unless you're made of scissors. That's a little rock, paper, scissors joke. Yo, he's the best character ever, bro.
It's good to have a sense of humor about being made of rocks.
Yeah, that's what makes him so great.
You got to address it if you're made of rocks.
In the later movies, like he gets better too. Like this character's so good. So he goes, this is my very good friend Meek. And you see this little guy next to him. He goes, he is an insect with knives for hands. And then Meek's like, he holds up his knives. And Thor's like, well, how did you end up here? Oh, well, interesting story. I tried to start a revolution. Also, his voice is so soft, and he's this huge rock, which is so funny. Tried to start a revolution, but I didn't print out enough pamphlets, so no one showed up except for my mom and her boyfriend, who I hate. He goes, so as punishment, I was forced to be a gladiator. And you see Thor, while he's talking, and they're walking in this little circle, Thor runs around, and then he's like, it looks like it keeps going, but it puts him back right here. And Thor's like, what the fuck is this? He goes, what kind of circle is this? He's like, oh, this isn't just a circle. He goes, oh, this thing is a circle, but not like a real circle, like a freaky circle. He's like, okay. He goes, has anyone ever fought the Grandmaster's champion? He goes, oh, yeah, Doug did. Hey, Doug. And then they look over, and it's just a dead nigga. He goes, oh, that's right. Doug died. Yeah, everyone who fights the Grandmaster champion, they always die. And he goes, what about you? You're not dead. He goes, well, I do the smaller fights. I warm up the crowd, stuff like that. You're not going to face him, are you? Yes. I'll fight him, win, and I'll get out of this place. That's exactly what Doug used to say. See you later, new Doug. Bro, when he said that line in the theater, I remember the theater exploding. That's exactly what Doug used to say. Yo, that shit. Because you just see this nigga dead in the corner. So this is why this Marvel movie is so good, by the way. As you can see, they went nothing but jokes.
Right.
They were like, we're trying to make it a cool superhero movie. Bits.
Right.
The fighting will happen. He's Thor.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like there's still action.
Oh, there is. Yeah. But I feel like it made the storyline for this so much better. Of like, oh, these jokes keep coming at me. Yeah. Like because you saw the first Guardians, like that feeling where you're like, oh man, they are like there's a bit every couple minutes here. Yeah. So you see Hela walking through the palace, right? And she looks up at this painting, and it's like a painting of like Thor and Odin and Loki, and it's all peaceful, and everybody's like in parties and like drinking wine and like kneeling and praying. And she's like, look at these lies. Peace treaties. Odin, proud to have it, ashamed of how he got it. Boom, boom, boom. She throws up all these knives, knocks all the ceiling down, and then it's covering the actual ceiling, which is her and Odin and like them destroying all the 9 realms, which is how they got power.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Odin was a bad guy.
Right. Well, that's how you get the realms.
Yeah, you don't get 9 realms by asking.
Yeah,
you don't just go, hey, we get your realm? And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to conquer realms, there's going to be a little bloodshed.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you got the goddess of death by your side.
Yeah. It's kind of a message about imperialism.
Ooh, Jeffrey. Was this Spoil the Beans or Joe Rogan's podcast? Imperialism, huh? I don't even know what that word means. If we're not talking about Star Wars, I don't know what it means. When
a place goes and takes over another place.
Can you say it like this?
Like how
imperialism.
I'm not good at that evil voice.
Not good with this voice.
I can't quite get there. Imperialism. Well, anyway, it's how all great countries are formed.
That is true. I mean, that's how we got here, baby. China. Wait, what is...
Checking the couch, see if it's China.
So she looks up and she goes, we were unstoppable, Scourge. I was his weapon, and one by one, everything became ours. But my ambition outgrew his, so he banished me away like an animal. Before that, Asgard warriors were honored, buried beneath this palace. So they go downstairs, right? And then Scourge is like, whoa, Odin's treasures. You see all this shit? And she's like, fake. And you see a gauntlet with like a gold gauntlet with a hand like this. Okay. She knocks it over. Fake. And then she sees like the scepter, the head, the crown thing that Thor brought back. She's like, well, that's real. And then she sees this blue thing that's called the Tesseract. Remember in the first movie, in the first Avengers, that's the thing they're fighting for the whole time.
Okay.
It's in Loki's scepter.
Yeah.
That, right? Mm-hmm. It's that. And then she's like, now that's not bad. And then she keeps walking. She goes, but this. And you see this fire burning. She's like, the eternal flame. And she grabs some of it like that. And then she uses her other hand to go, boom, and like a huge hammer comes out. Right? And then she smashes the ground. Whoosh, and she looks at Scourge and she's like, you want to see real power? And she falls backwards holding the flame. And then she fucking lands. Doof, right? And then she looks around and it's nothing but dead bodies, right? Everywhere. And then you see on this huge bed, this humongous, like the size of like a fucking couple whales or some shit, this huge wolf, and it's dead. And she's like, oh, my darling, what have they done to you? And then she's like, oh, I miss you all. Boom! And she hits her hand on the ground and she like makes the flame go through all of them and they all rise and come back to life.
Okay.
Like the wolf too.
Yeah.
Right? So you see Thor, cut to our boy Thor, he's in the circle room.
Okay.
You know, and he's praying to Odin. And he hears Loki behind him. And he turns and you see Loki standing there. And then Thor throws a rock at him and it's just a hologram. And then Loki's like, come on, you didn't think I'd really come to see you. This place is disgusting. And Thor doesn't say anything. He just keeps throwing rocks at him, right? He's like, come on, do you want my help or not? I'm gaining the Grandmaster's trust, all right? He goes, perhaps in time he has an accident and then me and you know what I mean. And then Thor just keeps throwing rocks at him, right? And he goes, you really thinking you're going back, Thor? Our sister destroyed your hammer like glass. You don't stand a chance. Do you understand? Fine. I guess I'll go at it alone, like I always do. And then Thor smiles and just keeps throwing rocks at him. He's like, what would you say something? Say something! And then Thor's like, what would you like me to say? You faked your death. You stole the throne. You released the goddess of death. Is that enough? Or should I go back farther than 2 days? And then Loki's like, so Loki goes, I haven't seen this champion that everybody keeps talking about, but just know I placed a large wager against you. Don't let me down. And he fades away, right? And then Korg runs up and he's like, piss off, ghost! And he punches the wall. So cut to the next day, right? Like the fighting is about to happen. It's like the day of the gladiator challenge. And you hear Korg, like you don't see it, but you hear him going off. He's like, oh, guys, come on. Clean your weapons after your fights, please. This is disgusting. I just like that you hear him complaining. Right. So you hear Thor, he looks at Korg and he's like, man, I really wish I had my hammer. You know, it was made from a dying star just for me. Only I could lift it. If I flung it around fast enough, it would let me fly. And then Korg's like, whoa, you rode your hammer? He's like, well, no, I didn't ride it. Oh, it rode you. The hammer got on your back and rode you. It's like, no, it didn't. Nobody's riding anything. It just, the hammer would pull me off. Oh my God, it pulled you off. Pulled me off the ground, Korg. It pulled me off the ground and I'd fly. Sounds like you had a really deep love for that hammer, mate. Yeah, I did. Dude, Korg is the best. Yeah. So he looks over and he sees Scrapper 142. We see Tessa.
Okay.
Right? He's like, hey. And he goes over and he's like, that's her. That's the girl who brought me here. And Korg's like, oh, you don't want to mess with her, mate. Those Asgardians, they're hard to perish. He's like, Asgardian. And he runs up. He's like, hey. He said, don't zap me with that thing. She holds up the thing. Mm-hmm. He's like holding his neck. He's like, I just want to talk. And then she goes to take another drink and he sees her. She has a tattoo. And he's like, you're a Valkyrie. You're one of the Asgardian legendary warriors. Mm. God, I always wanted to be a Valkyrie when I was growing up until I heard, you're all women. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I love women. I love women too much, Also, an elite group of women warriors, good. It's about time, right? Don't you say? And I guess she's just looking at him. And then you hear a guy go, Lord of Thunder, you're up. And then he's like, look, I need your help. And she's like, bye. He's like, you must be either a traitor or a coward to leave Asgard like that. And she goes, this is Sakaar, not Asgard, and no one escapes here. You're going to die. And she leaves. All right? And they zap Thor with the thing, and they drag him off, and they put him in a chair, and Stan Lee walks up. You know, he cameoed every movie, baby.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Stan Lee walks up and he's like, all right, let's cut that hair. And he cuts on him and he's like, he goes, let's gut that hair. And then Thor's like, by the great son of Odin, you will not touch my hair. And Stan Lee's like, now hold still, my hands aren't steady. And he has like a bunch of knives going like, zzz. He's like, please, son, please don't cut my hair. Please. Cut to like the big war, right? The big, like huge stadium.
Yeah.
It's packed. Like I'm talking about like 200,000, so packed, right? And you see the Grand Master come up as this big hologram. And he's like, whoa, look at all you. Who's having fun, huh? And everyone's like, ah. He's like, all right, hey, everybody, how about a big hand for everyone who died so gruesomely? Good sports, huh? People are clapping. He's like, well, this is what you came for, the main event. Making his first appearance, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Lord of Thunder. And then Thor comes out and he's got a fucking haircut. He ain't got the long hair no more. Right?
Man,
and
they've taken everything from him.
I know.
They've really unthored Thor.
Jeffrey, I can't explain to you how good. This isn't even the best Thor movie.
Okay.
The way they go with the next movie for Thor, because you don't even, oh my God, it's going to blow your fucking mind, like how good this character gets. Like, and it gets funnier.
Okay.
Way funnier than this. That's how good Thor gets.
Okay.
This was just like the start of like,
yeah.
Damn, Thor's funny as fuck.
Right.
You know? So you see Thor and there is like, everybody's booing him, boo, boo. And then you hear the hologram, you hear Jeff Goldblum blow. And watch out for his fingers. They make sparkles. Now, okay. All right, guys. Ooh, and everybody's like, ah, crowd starts getting louder. Here he comes. Here he comes. Oh, watch out for this guy. He's a creature. There's none like him. I have a special connection with this guy. He's undefeated. Your reigning champion, the defending. I give you. The doors start opening. The incredible Hulk busts through. And then Thor's like, yes! And the stadium gets quiet, right? And then Loki looks at him. He's like, oh, shit. I got to get off this planet. And then Thor, bro, one of the biggest laughs in the movie, Thor goes, hey, to Jeff Goldblum. We know each other. He's a friend from work. Yeah. Yo, the theater lost it. I remember that. And then everyone's chanting, Hulk, Hulk, Hulk. Did you not know the Hulk was in this?
No.
Dude, that's fucking, yo, they ruined it with the trailer. I saw the trailer, so I knew. If you saw the trailer, you knew Hulk was in it. But I wish I could have had that reaction, which is, Hulk's in this?
Right.
Fuck yeah! It's an hour, because bro, it's an hour and 5 minutes before Hulk shows up. He doesn't come till half. I love that. It's like, oh, great movie.
Yeah.
So you see Hulk, right? And he's like, fucking Thor goes. Everyone's chanting Hulk, and Hulk's like, ah, he's yelling, and Thor's like, oh my God, where have you been, man? Everyone, we thought you were dead. We didn't know where you were. Oh my God, so much has happened. I lost my hammer the other day. Sucks. And oh look, Loki's alive. Look, Loki. Look who it is. Loki's like, oh shit, like that. And then he goes, Banner, you have no idea. I'm so happy to see you. And then Hulk's still like, he's like, Banner. And the crowd's going, Hulk. And then Hulk goes, no Banner. Only Hulk! And Thor's like, wait, what? It's me, Thor! Oh, boom! He punches the shit out of Thor, dog. Yeah. And then Thor goes flying. And Thor's like, what the fuck? He goes, and then Thor like grabs 2 knives and he's like, Hulk, we're friends. I don't want to hurt you. And he grabs Thor and he fucking throws his ass again. And Thor, boom, hits the wall. And then Thor's like, all right then. And then Hulk starts running at him. And then Thor grabs like this other like weapon that's on the ground, this hammer, and just waits till he gets close and fucking boom! And that shit sends Hulk like flying across the stadium. Yeah. And of course everybody's like, because you know he's a big green monster.
Right. Yeah, he's the Hulk.
He's the Hulk.
Yeah, anyone that knows the Hulk, you don't like the Hulk.
The Grand Master's like, what? And then Thor walks up slow as Hulk's like trying to come to, and Thor's like, hey, big guy, the sun's getting real low. And he's like trying to calm him down. Right. He's like, he reaches for his hand. He's like, shh, that's it. The sun's going down. I won't hurt you. No one will hurt you. Hulk's like, Hulk takes his hand. Boom, 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 boom. Ah! And then Loki's like, yes, the That's how it feels. Because if you remember from
good
the
callback. That's
Yes,
a very.
I knew
That's
you
a,
would get
wow.
that
That's,
callback.
no, I remember that. That's
So-
that's for some reason such a memorable part of the first movie.
great writing callback right there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So Thor gets up and he's like, oh, screw it. And then him and the Hulk fucking go at it, dog. Like they're fighting. He's dodging punches. He fucking hits the Hulk. Bam, bam. He fucking hits him. And he's like, all right, Banner, I know you in there. I'll get you out. Bam. He punches him again. Hulk's like, ugh! Fucking bam, smashes him. And then Thor goes, what's the matter with you? You're embarrassing me. I said that we were friends. So they keep fighting back and forth.
Yeah.
Hulk catches Thor's swing and then punches the shit out of Thor, right? And then he jumps on him and he starts smashing him like that, like boom, 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 boom. And it's fucking him up. And each time he hits him, Thor's brain flashes back to like when he was talking to his dad. And it keeps going there and going there and going there. And finally he gets mad and he's like, ah! And then he turns all lightning and boom! And it hits the Hulk like a mile in the sky. Bam! The Hulk lands. Right? And everybody's like, oh shit. And then now Thor gets up full lightning powers. Like he's got him. Like full lightning eyes. And he knocks the Hulk's ass out again. And then everyone starts going, thunder, thunder, thunder. And even Korg's like, thunder, thunder, thunder. And then you see Thor, he goes up towards him and he's about to fuck him up more. And Grandmaster hits the button. And it fucks Thor up. And then Hulk jumps up and like a mile out of the stadium. And everybody goes, and then and you see him start coming down with his fist. And Korg goes, another day, another Doug. Boom! He lands on Thor. Fade to black. That was one of my favorite fight scenes in all of Marvel, bro. I thought they did that perfectly.
Yeah.
The reveal, the way they battled.
Beats.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So cut back to our girl Hela. Remember her?
Yeah.
She's not the nice one. And Hela, she's sitting on the throne, and she's like, "What's that noise?" And you hear a bunch of like a noise outside. And then Scourge's like, "Oh, the common folks are trying to come in. A resistance form. They're trying to bust down the gate." And she's like, huh. And she sends some soldiers to go deal with it. And she goes, "Well, Scourge, tell me about yourself." He's like, "Well, my father was a mason, and my mother." Scourge, Jesus Christ, no one cares about that. "Tell me, what are your dreams? What are your ambitions? What do you want?" He's like, "Well, I just want to prove myself, ma'am." And she's like, "Recognition. You know, my father, he had an executioner. And the executioner's job was not just to kill people, but to also execute his vision. But mainly, of course, just kill people. Scourge, I will make you. I was Odin's executioner, and you shall be mine." And she hands them this huge axe she makes, and he's like, "Thank you." Right? He doesn't know how to feel kind of face.
Right.
And she goes, "Let's begin our conquest." So her, the entire dead army, the big wolf, Scourge, they all start walking towards the Bifrost. They get up to it. The sword's gone. And she's like, "Where's the sword, Scourge?" And he's like, "I don't know." She's like, "That's the key. We can't get out of here without the sword." And then it's quiet. And then she goes, "Those people who weren't falling in line, round them up." Cut to, we see our kids running for their life in the woods from the dead soldiers, like running for their life. And then you see Idris Elba pop out.
Okay,
Because
cool.
Idris Elba's in the original Thor movies, right? He's Heimdall. Remember?
I didn't know that.
So Idris
All right.
Elba. That's why I said remember I said there's one Asian and one black?
Okay. Idris Elba was the other. Okay. Huh.
So Heimdall grabs the kid and he uses the sword to like kill the monsters, right? And then he takes the kids to this hiding place in the mountains that has this like secret door, and he opens it up, and like a bunch of the Asgardians are there, like just the civilians. Mm-hmm. So we see Thor. He wakes up in a room, and these women are pampering him, and then like he's like, "Oh!" and they run off, right? And he's got like no shirt on. He's like, "What the fuck?" He's looking around this room. He's very muscular, by the way. I get why they asked him to take his shirt.
Nice.
He's pretty in good shape. And he looks around. He sees a huge bed. He's like, "What?" He grabs his armor and he puts his armor back on. And then he sees this jacuzzi and the water splash, and like deep in the back of it, you can barely see it through the mist, but Hulk's in it. And he goes, "We cool?" And Hulk's like, "Rrr." He's like, "Okay." Hulk in a hot tub. Weird. And then he goes, "How long you been like that?" And Hulk's like what? You know, big, green, stupid. "Hulk, always Hulk." "Well, how'd you get here?" He's like, he He's like, oh, you crashed the Quinjet? Quinjet, yes. He's like, where is it now? And Hulk gets up and he's butt ass naked. Like you see his ass. Okay. And then Thor's like, oh, okay, all right. Hulk's naked. Jesus Christ. And he opens his eyes. Well, that's in my brain now. And then you see Hulk and he points there. He's like, oh, damn, that's not far away. It's like, it's not too far away. It's pretty close. The jet. And then Hulk's like, Thor's like, all right, I'm going to get us out of here. He goes, by the way, Hulk, you're going to love Asgard. Trust me. Hulk, stay. No, Hulk, you got to come with me. We got to prevent Ragnarok. You got to help me get to Asgard. You help me get to Asgard, I'll help you get to Earth. Earth hates Hulk. No, Earth loves Hulk. What do you mean? You know, come on, everybody loves Hulk. No, everybody loves Banner. You're Banner's friend. No, I'm not friends with Banner. I'm friends with you. No, Banner's friend. Who likes Banner? I don't even like Banner. Ooh, I can do science and stuff. Fuck that guy. Hulk, stay. Fine. Well, stay here, Hulk. This room is hideous, by the way. These colors don't even match. And then Hulk's like, I smash you. He's like, yeah, you won't smash anything. I won that fight, by the way. You didn't win. I won that fight. I won fight. Baby arms. Yeah, well, you're a moron, Hulk. Thor, go, Thor. And he's like, I'm leaving. And Thor tries to walk out the room, and he's like, and then Hulk's like, Thor, go again. Go. And he's like, and then he walks up to him, and he's like, Thor, you home now. And he walks out like they're trapped in this room.
Right.
So cut some more time pass. You see Hulk gear up, and he goes to train. And he trains with the Tessa Thompson girl. She's like, hey, big guy. And then you see them kind of like training together and shit. So Thor, he sits down like in a yoga kind of pose. And he like looks inward. And he's like, Humdale, I know you can see me. I need you to help me. Help me see Humdale. And Humdale like comes to. And he's like, I see you, but you're so far away. What's going on? And then he's like, I provided refuge for everyone, but if it fails, the only escape will be the Bifrost. We won't last long if we stay, and her powers grow stronger every day. Hela is ravenous, Thor. And then Thor's like, well, if I let her leave, no, and then Hondo's like, if I let her leave, she will consume the cosmos with ease. And then Thor's like, I don't know what to do. And he goes, I don't know how to get home to you, Heimdall. And he goes, your planet, it's full of doorways. Go through one. Which one? The big one. And then their connection breaks.
Okay.
Remember I said when he landed, there's a planet full of portals?
Right.
All right. So Thor, you see him, he's trying to take the thingy out of his neck, and it just won't, like it won't come out, right? And then he's sitting there, and he's like, Thor's all, he's like, oh, he's all bummed out. And then Hulk's looking at him, and he gets kind of angry, and he walks up, and he's like, Thor, sad. And then Thor's like, I'm not sad. Thor, sad. He goes, I'm not sad, you big idiot. I'm pissed off. And he grabs something and he throws it. He goes, I lost my father. He throws something else. I lost my hammer. And then Hulk's like, and he turns his back. And he goes, hey, you're not even listening to me. And he kicks something. And then Hulk turns around. Don't kick stuff. Thor's like, you're being a bad friend. And he goes, you're a bad friend. He's like, you know what we call you? We call you the stupid Avenger. You're a stupid Avenger. Oh, well, you're a tiny Avenger. And then Hulk grabs something and he throws it and it almost cuts his fucking head off. Like, boom, he barely dodges it. He's like, are you fucking crazy? And Hulk's like, yes. Which I love genuine. Yes. Like, I'm the fucking Hulk.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
He runs on it.
Yeah. And then, so Thor goes, and you know what? You're right. Earth does hate you. And then Hulk goes, he sits down. He's all mad. And then Thor's like, I'm sorry. You're not a stupid Avenger. Nobody calls you that. Nobody calls you the stupid Avenger. He goes, and then Hulk's like, it's okay. And then Thor goes, you can't just throw stuff around like that, though. You could have actually killed me. I know. I get so angry. Hulk always angry. And Thor's like, yeah, we're a couple hot-headed fools, aren't we? He goes, yeah. Hulk like fire. Thor like water. He goes, well, I was kind of thinking we're both kind of like fire. Yeah, Hulk like real raging fire and Thor like small fire, little fire, or Thor. And he's like, okay. So right then, he goes, well, Hulk, I need you to help me with something, please. And then Hulk smiles at him. So cut to Tessa, our girl Tessa Thompson comes in. And then Hulk's like, angry girl. She's like, big guy. And she walks up and she like kind of trips him and he falls. And then she's like, what's going on? And then she looks over and she sees Thor. And he's like, I need your help. And she's like, oh, can't you tell I want to be left alone? And she goes to leave. And he's like, Hulk, I need her to stay. And Hulk takes, remember I said there was a massive bed in the room?
Yeah.
Hulk takes it and throws the whole thing at the door. And so it covers up the whole door. He's like, stay, please. And she's like, fine. All right. She goes, here's the deal. I'll listen to you. And she holds up a full thing of alcohol. It's like this big, like liquor. She's like, until this is empty, go. And she starts drinking. He's like, Asgard's in danger and our people are dying. And oh my God. And she kills it. She's like, done. And he's like, Jesus. Like he's like concerned. Right, like, oh my God.
Yeah, she's
like,
got a problem.
Yeah. And then he's like, listen, Odin is dead. And she stops. Hela has invaded Asgard. And then Tessa's like, if she's back, it's already lost. And he's like, I will stop her. And she's like, well, alone? And he's like, nope. Getting me a team together. She goes, who? You, me, and the big guy. And then Hulk goes, no team, only Hulk. You and me. And then she's like, I'm not getting into your family squabbles again. Been there before, not worth it. And then she goes, your sister back in the day, like you said, I fought your sister back in the day. And it wasn't a war against anybody but her. I survived, but it cost me everything. And that's what's wrong with Asgard, that we're fighting princes and princesses' little squabbles. He's like, I agree. And he grabs her, and she's like, don't get familiar. And then she pushes on. He's like, I agree, but like we can go. We can change everything. It doesn't have to be like that anymore. And then he's like, these are your people too. And then he's like, these are your people too. And she's like, not anymore. And she pushes off, and then he laughs. He's like, oh well then. And she kind of turns. She looks at him. He goes, oh, you didn't see that coming. And he stole the thing from her. Like while he was up on her, he got it out of her. And he takes the thing off his neck, and he's like, well, look, I don't care what you do. You can stay here with this fucking lunatic, and you keep drinking yourself to death, but I choose to run towards my problems, not away. And then he grabs something, and he throws it at the glass as hard as he can. Boom! And he goes, because that's what heroes, and that shit just hits and bounces back. Bam! And knocks him out. And then he gets up and he's like, oh. That's what heroes do. And then he takes something else and he breaks the window and he jumps out the window, right? And then Hulk's like, friend, stay! And then you see Thor, he glides down the thing and he runs to the ship, right? He gets in, he cuts it on, and he goes, welcome, voice activation required. And he goes, Thor, denied. God of Thunder, denied. Strongest Avenger, denied. Strongest Avenger, denied. Damn you, Tony Stark. Point Break, access granted. Because in the early movies, he called him Point Break. Because of the long hair. Right. And so right then, Hulk busts through the plane. Hulk, no! And Hulk starts walking. He's like, no, Thor, stay! And he's breaking the whole jet. Hulk, you're ruining everything, you fucking idiot! Stop! Oh, and he backs up and he hits a button, right, Thor? And when he hits a button, the screen comes on. And it's Black Widow. And it's do you remember the end of Age of Ultron?
Not well, okay, no. So I remember, yeah.
What do you remember?
Just some big stuff falling.
Yes! Hulk's there, they fight, they save the day, right? Yeah. They win. The end of that movie, Hulk gets on a jet and flies away. And Black Widow's like, hey, this is how Age of Ultron ends. She's like, hey, you cut off your responder and like we can't track you. Like, you got to tell us where you are, big guy. And this is like when you thought that they were going to be like a love thing too. Mm-hmm. And then Hulk, like literally Hulk goes to like look like he's about to give her where he is. And he hangs up on that bitch. And then he goes flying into the distance. And then you don't see Hulk for like 5 movies until now.
Wowsies.
So that's why remember when he's like, everyone thought you were dead. We didn't know where you were.
Right.
That's what happened.
Man, why would he put him in the trailer then? That's such a good reveal.
Would have been the best reveal ever because they're fucking stupid and that's not like every movie is stupid with trailers. Every single movie in the history of movies, for some reason thinks they have to put everything in the trailer. Yeah,
they want you to come see it, but the people who see these movies are going to come see these movies.
Yeah, you know I'm coming.
Yeah,
you know I'm coming. I saw all the other Marvel movies. Why would I miss this one?
Yeah.
So, you see in the message, you see her. She's like, "Come on, big guy. I need to know where you're." And Hulk's watching it, and she's like, "You're in stealth mode." And you see him like calming down more and more. He's like, no, no, and he starts kind of turning. passes out, and he turns back into Bruce Banner. All right? And then you see he goes, Banner, you're right. You're right. Sun's going down. Thor's on top of him. And then Banner kind of comes to and he's like, oh, Thor, what are you doing here? What happened to your hair? He's like, I know, they cut it. He goes, well, it looks good. It looks good. Thank you. And he goes, how are we doing? Did we do good? How's Nat? What about Sokovia? Did we beat Ultron? And he goes, Banner, Ultron was 2 years ago. What? I've been Hulk for 2 years? He's like, yeah. It's like, what the hell happened? And you see Banner get up and he logs into the ship and it goes, access granted. Welcome, strongest Avenger. And then Thor's like, what the fuck? And he watches, you see Banner, he watches the ship crash and the Hulk fly out of the ship. And like how he got there, right? He's like, what the fuck? And then he goes, Thor, where are we? You hear the Grand Master on like a big intercom over the whole city. And he's like, I'm so mad right now. And it's Jeff Goldblum. I'm so pissed. Ugh. That champion has been stolen. He's missing. God. And then you see Banner's like, who runs this place? And he goes, don't worry. A lot has happened since we got here. You were working for that guy and we fought recently. And then Banner's like, whoa, we fought? Well, did I win? And Thor's like, no. I won. Super easy. He's like, really? That doesn't make any sense. He goes, so the Grandmaster's like, the God of Thunder, Mr. Sparkles, has stole my champion. Find him. And then Banner's like, this is bad. I'm freaking out, man. Where the hell are we? He's like, here, just put these clothes on. He's like, what? These are Tony's clothes. It's like, just put them on. You look like Stark. Right? So cut to, we see Loki and Tessa Thompson coming up to the Grandmaster. And the Grandmaster's like, I said it. I'm upset. And then he goes, that Lord of Thunder stole my champion. That's your brother and your contender. Okay? And then Loki goes, give me 12 hours. I'll bring them back to you alive. And then Tessa's like, I'll do it in 2. And then Loki's like, well, I guess I'll do it in 1. I remember in the theater being, that's really funny to say. To be like, annoyed, like, God damn it. Why would you say that? So the Grandmaster's like, you're on the clock. So Loki and Tessa start walking back and they're arguing. And then while they're arguing, they start pushing each other. And then they start fighting each other. Right? Mm-hmm. And then as they're fighting, Loki notices her tattoo. And he's like, oh, you're a Valkyrie. He's like, I thought all of you died gruesome deaths. And she grabs his neck. She's like, choose your next words wisely. He goes, it must be a painful memory for you. Let's see. And he grabs her forehead like that. Right. And like because he's a witch. Right. And she snaps back into like the memory. And you see her and all her army going up against Hela. And Hela killing all of them. Just wiping them out. Right. Easy, right? And so she comes back too. And she punches the shit out of Loki. Like knocks his ass out. Mm-hmm. So we see Banner now and Thor. And they're walking through the city. And Banner is dressed exactly like Stark. Like he looks like Tony Stark. It's funny. And Thor's like, just stay calm, okay? He's like, how do you want me to stay calm? I'm on an alien planet. He's like, it's a planet. You've been on plenty of planets before. It's like, I've been on just one planet. He goes, yeah, but they're planets. Which, you know what's funny? I watched it today. I was like, God, that's what you would say to me. If I was like, Jeffrey, I'm freaking out. I've never been on this planet. You're like, yeah, but it's a planet.
Yeah, it's a fair point, actually. That's why it's funny. It's like, it's valid.
But you've been on one. You've been on all of them. Can you breathe? You're good.
That's the main thing.
So he goes, this is different. He goes, usually, man, usually when I'm the Hulk, me and the Hulk have our hands on the wheel. But this time, he had his hands on the wheel, and I was in the trunk. If I turn into the Hulk again, I don't know if I'll ever come back. He's like, well, I'm going to get you home. And then Hulk's like, good, thank you. He goes, but when I say home, I mean my home, Asgard. He's like, what? No, I don't want to go to Asgard. He's like, no, I need your help. We have to fight my sister. Oh, dude, I don't want to fight your sister. I don't know her. That seems like a family problem. It's like, no, she's really evil. I promise. That line made me laugh. So she's really evil. I promise. Yeah. And then she's like, he goes, wow, so and then Banner goes, wow, that's gross, man. He goes, what? You're using me to get to the Hulk? That's just, no, I don't want the Hulk. I don't even like the Hulk. You know I prefer you. And he goes, no, everybody wants the Hulk. He's like, no, everybody hates the Hulk, dude. Smash. That guy's an idiot. And he goes, but in this situation, I will admit, I do need the Hulk. Oh, come on. What do you mean? Banner is useful too. Is he though? Is Banner useful though? That's how Thor says it too. Is he really? He goes, Banner has PhDs. You know what the Hulk has? He doesn't have any. He goes, okay. Well, look. He goes, look, all right, fine. I don't need him. I need you. But will you help me get to Asgard? And then you don't have to ever see the Hulk again. Cut to, you see everyone on the streets. looking for the Hulk, like celebrating him, right? So he like, well, you see him like he in the chaos of everyone. It's like a Mardi Gras kind of like situation. He loses him. Banner, Thor, Banner, and then you see some big thing about to like Banner bumps into somebody, like some big monster, and the big monster's about to fuck him up, and the Valkyrie comes and saves him.
Okay.
All right.
She had, she might have a heart.
She might. And then he's like, she's like, what you doing? She's like, what were you doing? I thought you were leaving. And he's like, Thor's like, I was, but got kind of stuck. Had to get a disguise. And then she's like, because for disguise so Banner's dressed like Tony Stark, and he doesn't need a disguise because he's not the Hulk anymore.
Right.
Thor is literally Thor, and he just put like a little rag on his head. And she's like, and that's your disguise? And he goes, not if I do this. He goes, that's your best disguise? He goes, if I do this. And he just covers his face a little bit. He's like, now who am I? And she goes, look, I decided maybe I'll help you do it, right? And they start flirting and shit. And then she's looking at Banner, and she's like, who is this guy? She's like, I feel like I know you. He's like, I'm Bruce. I feel like I know you too. And she's like, yeah, you look familiar, right? And she was like, I don't know. And he goes, so you're going to leave Sakaar? She's like, look, Sakaar seemed like a good place to drink and die, and that's why I stayed here so long. And then Thor is like, yeah, I did think you drank too much. And then he's like, yeah, you kind of drank. Thor's like, I mean, you really drink a lot, like, seriously. And she's like, well, I don't plan to stop drinking, so back off. But if I do die, I think it should be me putting my sword through that hag of a sister of yours. So what's this team called? And then Thor's like, the Avengers. And she's like, what? He's like, because we're getting revenge. And then she's like, okay. And then she goes, well, I have a peace offering for you. And she opens up a door, and you see Loki chained up.
Okay. And
she's like, Loki's like, surprise. And then Thor grabs something, like a can, and he hits that nigga on the head hard as hell. And he's like, had to be sure. And then Loki looks at him, looking at Bruce. And he's like, hello, Bruce. And then Bruce is like, well, last time I saw you, you were trying to kill everybody. Remember that? He's like, how are you these days? And then Loki goes, varies from moment to moment. And Banner's like, so Thor is like, yo, this is how we're going to get back to Asgard. You see that big hole? You see a huge portal. He's like, we're going to go through that one. It's called the Devil's Anus. And then Tessa goes, you mean the Devil's Anus? He goes, oh, I didn't know it was called that. But yeah, that's what we're going to go through. And then Banner's like, oh, I know it. Like he says, like, oh, it's some kind of like, says some kind of science word, like quantum, whatever, something portal or whatever. And then she's like, well, we're going to need a certain kind of ship to get through that. The certain kind of power, you'll need a certain kind of ship that can handle that. And then Thor and Banner are like, oh, let's do it. And then Loki goes, well, if you'll be needing a new ship, I might have gotten in with the Grand Master, who might have a heap of all kinds of ships, and I might have stolen his codes. If I give them to you, though, I want safe passage through the anus. And then Banner's like, hold on. I mean, he literally just said it a minute ago that he varies from moment to moment when he wants to kill everybody. And he's tried to kill me before. I don't think we should trust him. And then Valkyrie's like, yeah, he did try to kill me. And then Thor's like, he tried to kill me many times. I remember this one time we were children and he turned himself into a snake because he knows I love snakes. So I went and picked it up, to admire it. And then he turned himself back and he's like, ha, it's me. And he stabbed me. And then Loki's like nodding like, yeah, I did that. So they're like, well, we're going to need more people if we're going to start this revolution. Cut to, boom, you see the doors of the circle thing getting broken into.
Yeah.
And Korg and Meek stand up. And then Tessa busts in. She's like, I'm looking for Korg. And Korg's like, who's asking? Well, I mean, I know you are asking, but is anyone else also asking? Or is it just you asking me? And she goes, the Lord of Thunder sends his best. Oh, the revolution has begun. So right then, the Grand Master, he hears that the mainframe is down and all the slaves have armed themselves. And he goes, ooh, hey, I don't like that word. And then the girl goes, what, mainframe? He goes, no, what? Why would I not like mainframe? No, the S word. And she goes, okay, the unpaid workers have armed themselves. And he goes, bro, I love this. He actually breaks. Jeff Goldblum, the actor, he goes, well, okay, that's better, I guess. That's fine. And they keep it in. I love that the director was like, you know what? It's worth catching Jeff Goldblum, like completely, like you see him break. So Thor and Loki, they break into a building, right? And you see them fighting their way towards the ship that they're trying to steal from the Grandmaster.
Yeah.
Okay? And then they're talking to each other, and it's like, man, it's only right that Odin brought us together. So, of course, his death rips us apart. And you see them kicking people's ass on their way up to the fucking thing. And then Loki's like, I think I'm going to stay on Sakaar. And then Thor's like, you should. It's lawless. You'll do great here. Wow, you truly do think little of me, brother. He's like, well, that's not true, Loki. I looked up to you. But at the end of the day, you're you and I'm me. And our paths diverged a long time ago. I guess it's for the best we don't see each other again. And he pats Loki on the back, right? And then you see them like get up to the ship, right? And they're walking towards it. And then Loki, like, he has a hologram version of himself.
Yeah.
You realize that's who he was with the whole time. And then like the other version of himself is like way back, like on like another part of the, like over here, right?
Right.
And Thor goes, Loki, Loki, Loki. And then Loki's like, look, I'm sorry. I know I betrayed you before, but it's never personal. Besides, the reward for your capture will set me up nicely here in Sakaar. And then right then, Thor holds up the little shocker button. Like the little shocker thing. And then Loki's like, what? And he looks at his back, and that's what he put on his back. And he goes, and Loki's like, ah, and he just holds it. And he cuts it all the way up. So Loki's like really bad, right? Yeah. And then he walks up to him, and he's like, Loki, Loki, Loki. Dear brother, you're becoming predictable. I trust you, you betray me, and round we go. But life is about change, Loki. See, you'll always be the god of mischief. But I think you could be more. He goes, well, anyway, I'll put this here, and he throws it. And Loki's just like, like really bad.
Yeah.
And he just walks off, bro. And he gets into the ship, and he takes off.
Okay.
So you hear the Grand Master, he's like, loyal Sakaarians, the Lord of Thunder stole my ship. Take to the skies. Bring him down. So you see Tessa and the Hulk, our boy the Hulk, they're on her ship, right? And they like, you see Thor flying, and their ship pulls up below Thor's ship. And then she looks at him, and Thor opens his doors, and she looks at the Hulk, and she like Banner, and she's like, I hope you're tougher than you look. He's like, why? Boom. And then like ejector seats, this nigga ejects and hits his head hard as shit on Thor. Like, bam! And he's like, oh God! He lands. And so you see people keep shooting at him, right? They're shooting at him. And then Thor's like, where are the guns on this ship? And then Tessa's like, that's not a ship with guns. That's a leisure ship. The Grand Master uses it for, a good time, like orgies and stuff. He's like, you say orgies and stuff? So the Tessa ship is like, you see them like, it's flying and it's getting shot at. And you see her like jump out at the last second as it gets blown up. And Thor and Hulk are like, no! And then you see this bitch like flying, bro. Boom! And she grabs one hand, like catches their ship. Mm-hmm. And then Hulk's like, get in here! And then she's like, in a minute! Boom! And she pushes off, and bro, she lands on another ship and like destroys it. And then jumps to another ship. And then Thor's like, I'll go help her. You fly this. He's like, what? I don't know how to fly this. Use one of your PhDs. None of them are for flying alien spaceships. And then Thor jumps out. And then you see them both like, it's such a cool shot of them jumping from ship to ship.
Destroying
right. Yeah. So Banner's like, oh, because he's getting shot at. He's like, man, this fucking thing's got to have guns on it somewhere. And he hits a button, and a bunch of like sparks start flying out of the ship. And you hear the Grandmaster's hologram comes up, and he's like, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. And it's just like fireworks coming out of it, right? So Thor and Tessa finally destroy all the ships, and they jump back on, and they're coming up to the Devil's Anus. Okay? Right. Cut back to Korg. He's got him and all the people that he started the revolution with, right?
Yeah.
And they come up on this huge ship, like a transport ship for people.
Yeah.
Like the ship that they're on is like a speed kind of ship. The one that the Hulk and all them are on. You know? But this ship is like, like a Navy ship or some shit.
Right.
So they're looking at it, and then Korg's like, that's our ticket out of here, guys. He's like, huh. What's this? And he looks down and he grabs something, and it's the little shocker thing. And he hits the button and it cuts it off. And then Loki stands up and he's like, oh, right? And then Korg is like, hey, man, we're about to board this giant ship. You want to come? And then Loki's like, well, you all look like you're in desperate need of leadership. And then Korg's like, thank you, we are. So you see Tessa and them, the Hulk, and they fly their ship through the wormhole, right? So they're going like through like time and space and like light years and shit. So cut back to our boy Scourge, and he's talking to all the Asgardians that they captured, right? And he goes, someone stole the Bifrost sword. Tell us where it is, or there'll be consequences. Nobody says anything. Hela just points at a girl. They grab the soldiers grab the girl and place her in front of Scourge, and Scourge is like, fuck. And he grabs his axe and he gets over towards her. And then she's like, well, executioner. And he's like, oh, and he goes to cut her head off. And the guy's like, wait, stop. I know where the sword is. And then Hela smiles, right? Cut back to our boys, Thor and Tessa and the Hulk. They come through the wormhole. They're all knocked out. They wake up and they come in and they're like coming right on Asgard.
Okay.
And it's like, the beautiful Asgard and shit. And then Tessa's like, man, I never thought I'd be back here. And then Hulk's like, man, I thought it would be nicer. I mean, it's nice. It's just, it's on fire. So she's like, you see Tessa's like, I see, like she has like a little green dot on her like scanner thing. And she's like, yo, she's heading up to the mountains. And there's clearly a bunch of people there. And then Thor's like, take me to the palace. I'll draw her away. While I deal with Hela, you guys get everyone off Asgard. Get everyone out of here. And then they're like, how the hell are we supposed to do that? And he's like, I got a man on the ground. Cut to, we see Heimdall, right? Mm-hmm. And he looks up and he's looking around. He's like, Asgard, she's here. And you see Hela walking up outside the gate, like outside of the door, right? Mm-hmm. So Thor, they get to the palace, right? And he gives Tessa a gun, right, to put like on the ship. Yeah. And then he gives her an outfit, like balled up. And he goes, hey, I found this in the armory. Good luck. It's a Valkyrie outfit. And she like undoes it. And then she's like, Your Majesty, don't die. And then they fly off, right? She cocks the gun. So Thor walks into the new destroyed palace and he looks at the roof. And he's like, shit, like, because it's got the Hela shit all over it now. Mm-hmm. We see Hela using her powers to knock down the wall that the Asgardians are hiding behind. She knocks it down. She walks in. Heimdall has snuck everyone out the back. They're all walking towards the Bifrost now. Okay?
Good.
So Tessa puts on her Valkyrie outfit, cocks the gun. She looks like a fucking hero now. Like she's like, it's like the Valkyrie outfit's like this white superhero kind of looking shit.
All right, for sure.
So Thor, he sits on the throne and he's waiting for Hela and he just bangs a spear. Boom, boom. Hela starts walking back and he's like, sister. She goes, you're still alive. He goes, I love what you've done with the place. I get why father cast you out. She goes, you never really knew him at his best like I did. Where do you think all this gold came from? And then she's like, but after that, he became a benevolent king to foster peace so he could have you. And then he's like, I know technically you're the firstborn and the rightful heir, but you can't rule Asgard because you're just the worst. And he goes, father once said a wise king never seeks out war. And then she does her fucking hair, shing, but must always be ready for it. And they start running at each other. All right. So Heimdall is walking the people across the bridge. Remember that long bridge I told you about?
Yeah.
So he's walking them across. He stops everybody and he uses his eyesight and he looks like all the way down at the end of the bridge where the Bifrost is. The wolf is there. That gigantic wolf.
Right.
And it starts running right at him. When it starts running, Tessa starts shooting at that motherfucker, right? Cut to, we see on the other side of Heimdall, so if Heimdall's at the front of all the people, at the back of all the people, Scourge is approaching with the army. So they're cornered.
Right.
Okay? The homegirl and Thor are scrapping, and she's kind of kicking his ass. She's like, to be honest, I expected more, right? You see the army running at the people. You see the army running back to the people, back to Thor and Hela fighting, and then she's like, I'm the firstborn, the savior of Asgard. You're nothing. And then she slices him with a sword, right? Like right on his face. And no, she slices him with a sword in the stomach, and then she goes, even a blind man could see that. And then she slices him on his face and knocks his fucking eye out.
Wowsies.
So the rest of the rest of this Marvel universe, Thor only has one eye the rest of the movies.
Whoa, okay.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, I didn't, okay.
Knocks his eye out. And she goes, ugh, now you remind me of Dad, because Odin also has one eye.
Okay.
All right. So you see the people fighting the soldiers in the back, trying to keep them away. The dog keeps running. And then Tessa's like, this stupid dog won't die. And Banner's like, it gets closer and closer. And Banner gets up and he looks at her and he's like, everything's going to be all right. She's like, what? He's like, I got this. She's like, what? And he's like, you want to know who I am? What the hell are you talking about? You'll see. And he jumps off to hero music. He jumps off the thing, and Banner's flying down. You see the Hulk getting closer and closer, and then this nigga lands, boom, 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 and his body's just, and all of his bones are broken. And it's just Bruce Banner, like one of the best moments in movie history. I've never seen, and they let it sit too, where the wolf stops,
you just see the pain,
and the wolf like kind of flicks him a little bit. He like, and he's like, ah. And like you see his arms and legs, like everything's fucked. Bro, the way he lands, I mean, dun, 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 like that too, like he bounces. So, so the wolf like kicks him and then sniffs him and then kind of like steps over him. And then the wolf keeps running. And then right as the wolf's about to bite, fucking something grabs it. And it goes, gets slung back around and bam, slammed. It's the fucking Hulk. Yeah. And then Tessa's like, oh my God. Right. Also, I would just, imagine being her point of view when he just she's like, I can't believe he committed suicide. Because she would have to tell people, like, what did he say? He told me I'll see. He said you'll see. How could the movie just ended like that? Oh, God. So, Hela keeps talking shit to One-Eyed Thor. Heimdall, right? You see him fighting the dead soldiers, and he's about to get killed. Like, they got him. Like, one of them's about to bring down a knife on him, and then, boom, it explodes. And he looks up, and you hear, hey, man, I'm Korg. This is Meek. We're going to jump off this spaceship and get out of here if you want to come. And then you see Loki pulling up on the big monstrous spaceship, and he's like, Asgard, your savior is here. And then Thor's watching. He just starts laughing. And then fucking Hela's like, oh, and she stabs Thor again. So Loki joins them against the army of the dead. He starts fighting and shit. She's choking the shit out of Thor. Hela's choking the fucking shit out of him, right? Okay. And she's like, I'm not a queen or a monster. I'm the goddess of death. What were you the god of again? And then you see Thor flash back to his father. And then he's got one eye and shit, and he's looking at his dad, and he's like, Father, without my hammer, I can't, Father. She's too strong. Are you the god of hammers, Thor? Very also Berner thing to say.
That's great. That's really good. Yeah.
And he goes, that hammer was just so you could control your power, to help you. She will destroy Asgard. Asgard is not a place. It's a people. This could be Asgard. Like he points, like, remember where they were at the beautiful part? Yeah. He's like, Thor's like, I'm not as strong as you. No. You're stronger. Cut back to, tell me, brother, what were you the god of again? Bam! Thunder comes down. Awesome.
That's perfect.
Oh, bro. And then you see him jumping, and he lands. Down to the land of the ice and snow. A hammer of the gods. And he's just kicking everyone's fucking ass, bro. He's fucking niggas up, dog. You see the Hulk fighting the wolf, and you see Loki kicking ass, bro. They just go shot to shot, like all of them fighting. It's fucking so sick. You see Scourge is watching all this happen, and he finally throws his weapon down. Like he feels so bad, he throws his weapon down.
Right.
All right. So the wolf, you see the wolf bite Hulk on the leg, and it pierces his skin. The song's still going, and Hulk's like, ah! And he grabs this motherfucker. Now Asgard, Jeffrey, it's like a planet. Imagine like flat Earth, like how there would be just water coming off the edges.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what Asgard looks like water coming off the edges, and like a planet.
So how
like
Earth
that.
Actually is.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
You see Hulk throw the wolf off the planet, nigga, like off the planet, bro. Hey, Sam's back.
Hey.
So Thor walks up to Loki. I'm telling him Ragnarok.
Oh, you're gonna love it. How are you?
We're getting. I mean, this feels like it must be close to the end.
Oh,
this
yeah.
Oh,
is not.
so you've already found out.
He knows that the Hulk's in it. Is that what you're saying? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, he didn't know Hulk was coming either.
It's the best. That's how they did it in the theaters too.
Yeah.
No, but some of us knew the trailer. Unless you saw the trailer, they gave it away.
No, it wasn't the trailer. It was the poster that gave it away. But the trailer didn't give it away.
I knew something. I knew we knew that he was in it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it kind of ruined a little because you knew he was coming at some point.
Well, I never saw either,
Yeah,
so it worked
it was
out
awesome for him.
for Jeffrey.
Great, right?
Yeah.
Feels great. So Thor, he walks up to Loki and he's like, "You're late," And Loki's like, you're missing an eye. And you see Tessa standing with him, and Hela starts walking up, and Loki's like, hit her with the lightning blast. He's like, I hit her with the biggest lightning blast of all time. It didn't do anything. And he's like, well, and they're looking at her, and then Thor's like, just hold her off. Then everyone goes. And then they're like, no, we can't leave her here. Loki says that, and Thor goes, we know we can't leave her here. Her power grows the longer she's here. She'll just get stronger and eventually come find us and destroy everything. And he thinks, and he's like, Asgard isn't a place. It's a people. Loki, this isn't about stopping Ragnarok. It's about causing it. The Vault, the crown. And then Loki's like, bold move, brother. And he takes off, right? And then they look at each other, Tessa and Thor, and they're like, shall we? And they look at Hela, and Hela does her fucking hair, and they fucking sprint at her, bro. And they start fighting, all three of them, bro. And she's Thor is still full electricity, Thor, and she's handling that nigga. Like, oh, this bitch is strong as shit.
Right.
So Scourge, you see, he snuck onto the big ship with Korg and everybody, and he's like disguised as all the people as they escape. And then Thor's like, go, Korg, pull off now. He tries to pull off. Hela, you remember I said she can send knives out the ground? She sends one out the ground, and it like goes through the ship to like hold it still so they can't pull off, right? The motherfucking bad things start, like the villain thing, like the dead soldiers start climbing up in and shit so they can get on board. They get on board. People are screaming, because like they're about to kill all these people. And then gunshots. And all the fucking dead monsters die. Scourge has the 2 fucking AK-47s.
That's fun. Okay, AK-47s to kill them is also
great callback. And he's the redemption in the character. I thought he had a really great character arc for him.
A great arc.
And he's shooting them, and he jumps off the ship, and he's like, for Asgard! And he's just killing a bunch of them, bro. Hela sees this and fucking throws a knife. Right through his chest. The ship pulls off.
It's a great redemption.
Great redemption. He had a good arc. So Loki, you see Loki, he puts like the head, he's going through where all the stuff is, right? And he grabs the head.
Okay,
the big crown. Yeah. And then he looks over at the Tesseract, and he stops, and he's like, Cut to, he keeps walking, right? And he puts the head on the eternal flame, and the eternal, and then you see the thing like light up, and and he's like, with the eternal flame, you are reborn. And it starts growing and shit. So you see Hela, and she's looking at Thor. She's about to kill him, and Thor looks up, and he goes, you want Asgard? It's yours. And she's like, you can't defeat me, Thor. I know, but he can. And she turns, and he's like, and she looks up, and that big red nigga is like the size of like 3 Asgards. Remember how he said at the beginning of the movie, he would tower over Asgard, you know? So he's huge, right? He goes, Asgard, I am your reckoning. And she's like, no! And then Thor, bam, kicks the shit out this bitch, right?
Right.
So Tessa and Thor look up, and then Thor's looking at her as the big thing starts destroying all of Asgard. Like with his sword is destroying it. And he's like, we have to let him finish the job. It's the only way our people live. And they're watching, and you see the people in the ship as they're watching their city get destroyed, and they're all sad. And then back to Thor, and he's telling Tessa, he's like, we have to let him do this. If we don't let him do this, I mean, otherwise, and then right then you see the Hulk flying in the sky, and they're both like, what the f-? And he's like, Hulk smash! And he fucking hits the shit out of the big red nigga. Bam! Boom, boom, boom. And he's beating him with that, and then the red guy grabs him and like throws him. And the Hulk lands on the bridge. And then Thor goes, Hulk, stop! And Hulk goes, and he goes, for once in your life, don't smash! But big monster! No! Oh, fine! And he runs and he grabs him, and he jumps up and he lands on the ship. And they go inside, right? So Hela starts throwing knives at the big fucking monster thing, trying to kill it. And then fucking, I am Asgard's doom. And he brings the sword down right through Hela, through the heart of Asgard, right? And then Asgard starts exploding. Everyone's watching from the ship as you see it explode. And it's quiet. And you hear Korg. The damage is not too bad. The foundations are strong. We can rebuild. And it will become Asgard, a haven for all people of the universe. It explodes into nothing.
Yeah.
Well, those foundations are gone now. Sorry I said anything. Is Thor not the greatest superhero character ever? So the people are watching and they're all crying, they're sad. And then Thor's like, what have I done? And then Heimdall's like, you saved us from extinction, Thor. Asgard is not a place, it's a people. So some time passes, they're on the ship. Thor puts on an eye patch, like he has an eye patch now. And he's having a drink, and Loki walks up. He's like, eye patch, it suits you. And then Thor's like, maybe you're not so bad after all, brother. And then Loki's like, maybe not. Maybe not. And he thanks him. He goes, you know, Loki, if you were here right now, I might hug you. And he throws something at him, and Loki catches it. I'm here. And then they both smile. So we see Thor. He walks through all the people, and everybody kind of spreads away for him. And then at the front of the ship, it's Tessa, the Hulk, Korg, Meek, Loki, right? And they're waiting by the throne. And so Thor sits in it, and Heimdall's like, King of Asgard. And then Thor turns around, and he kind of like waves at everybody. And he's like, where to? No, Heimdall goes, where to, King? And he's like, I'm not sure. Any suggestions? Meek, where are you from? And then Korg goes, oh, he's holding Meek. Oh, Meek is dead, actually. I accidentally stomped on him during the fight. Felt so guilty, I've been kind of carrying him around all day. It's quiet, and they're all like, and then Meek goes, eh. And he's like, oh, shit, Meek, you're alive. What was your question again, brother? And then Thor goes, Earth it is. Thor Ragnarok.
Right.
That's how it is.
That's very good. Yeah. Wow.
What'd you think?
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I should probably watch it.
Oh, yeah, you should.
Should I clap?
No. Credits roll. It's
yeah.
a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Credits roll. We see the ship in space again, the big ship that they're on. And we see Thor. And he goes, man, you really think, like Loki looks at Thor and he goes, you really think it's a good idea to go back to Earth? And then Thor's like, what do you mean? People love me on Earth. I'm very popular there. And then Loki's like, no, what about me? He goes, probably not, but don't worry about that, brother. Everything will work out fine. And then they both look up and they're like, and then you see a ship like 30 times the size of their ship. Mm-hmm. Cut. Credits keep rolling. All right.
Okay.
And then it gets, because you know, Marvel, they always set up the next thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So the credits roll. That was the first teaser. And then at the end of the credits, we see that planet that they were on the whole movie, Sakaar.
Yeah.
And Jeff Goldblum rolls out of like this bin, right, with a bunch of bad bitches. And he's like, and he looks around, and everyone on that planet walks up on him. And he's like, oh, I gotta say, I am proud of you. This revolution has been a huge success. Yay, us. Right? Pat on the back. Right? Pat on the back for everybody. And I think I must say I've been a big part of it because you can't have a revolution without someone to overthrow, right? You're welcome. And it's a tie. And that's how the movie officially ends.
That's great. That's very good. Does Thor become Nick Fury? That's my one.
Ooh, no, but the arc for Thor gets better. Sam.
Yeah, you're saying.
I was telling Jeffrey how much better the arc for Thor even gets after this.
Oh yeah, this is when.
Don't tell him anything, but
I'm just saying this is the point where you go from like Thor.
Come say it on
a place. Put my money in my pocket.
You don't want to show off that you got money?
I got money. What's up?
Put your head down.
This is kind of the point in the MCU universe. I said that twice, like ATM machine. In the MCU, when Thor goes from just kind of being a placeholder to like really being a character.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. This movie this movie really sets up Thor as like, oh, this is one of the, because he's not one of the more likable characters, and then he's like your favorite after this movie.
The hammer had to die.
The hammer had to die.
Yeah.
Wait till you see what replaces the hammer, dog. And there's so many. His story arc gets better, bro. It gets better.
Okay.
Also, he didn't know who Doctor Strange was, which was you got to meet Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about him.
I know. So
yeah.
we'll go through the whole timeline, buddy. I'm gonna get you all caught up.
Okie doke.
Did you like this? You did like this one,
is
though,
great. Yeah, this is This is it in terms of Marvel movies. I think this is the one that's been the most recommended to me that I just never.
As you can see, it's super for you because if you like Guardians or Bits, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nonstop laughs the whole movie.
Yeah.
I'm Korg, and that's the podcast, everybody. See you later, or don't. You might want to listen to a different podcast.